Peace, 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 people. It's your man's Elijah 666 ill up in here, known as the Avatar IsRaselite Supreme Cobra Command on YouTube and Google+. The source for information that's untampered with, cannot be mixed up, because the truth cannot be altered. It's just like the sun. It cannot be messed with. So anyway, I'm back, and we're gonna do the part 2 to the Dane Calloway extravaganza and his Aboriginal Chiefs and his fan club. We got Dane Calloway and the Aboriginal Chiefs, his fan club. We still got the African and the African American panhoteps. We're gonna dig into that. That's part 2. You know, it's gonna be the same title. I'm just explaining it a little different for those who didn't watch the other video. And I want to thank everybody who came out and gave me 1,000 views in 1 week for this Dane Calloway on trial video. You know, it's like I didn't even expect that. You know, I normally expect about a couple of hundred, maybe 200-300. You know, but 1,000 on both of the last Dane Calloway videos got me really excited. That means people is listening. Now, I measure the likes and the dislikes. So I'll look at the likes on the last video of Dane Calloway on trial, and I know for a fact at least 10 of those dislikes come from fake trolls. I already blocked like 5 trolls. So this guy Dane Calloway is not the truth. When you gotta hire trolls that's out here sabotaging people's accounts, thumbs down in their information, and the information, you know, they haven't even ran through the information to see if it's false or true, because the information I put out wasn't even nothing about Dane Calloway. It was about the facts. And I let people line up the facts for what people is out here talking about is the truth. You know, so we got these people getting on your account, thumbs down to your video, you know, and they not even watching the video. I put the video up, it's almost 2 hours. Not even 20 minutes up, the video got several thumbs down. So I'm not even a popular YouTuber. I'm more like, you know, a snake. I'm a slithery snake, Supreme Cobra Commander. I'm not ashamed of it. You know, I'm creeping up out the cut. You know, I'm not trying to be friendly. I'm not sitting up here trying to be entertaining. You know, this is educational. This is informational. So I'm not sitting up here playing with nobody, man. You know, this is not no fame. It ain't gonna be no Indigenous Aboriginal Awards. This ain't Black Power. This ain't House of Consciousness. It ain't gonna be no awards for no Aboriginals, man, because this our land and all of y'all disrespecting us. That's what this video was about. That's what anything I put out is about. Notice any video I put out is pertaining to indigenous rights, whether we be African Americans or indigenous peoples of this land, or, you know, nationals from somewhere else. So all my videos is dead serious. I'm not playing. You got these emotional homosexual males getting on my video stating their opinion, you know, similar to how females would be all emotional, you know, in the name of Dane Calloway. So I understand gay Aboriginals is proclaiming their rights as Aboriginal. I'm not saying you can't do that. But when you on somebody's like mine's channel who already saying he the Supreme Cobra Commander, it's like, why even argue with me? Why even disrespect me? Look at my avatar and look at the name. IsRaselite Supreme Cobra Command. And I'm coming up out of Chicago Southside. So what that should tell you is somebody who claiming to be supreme up out Chicago, it got to have some merit. You know, unless I'm a psychopath. Because, you know, I'm telling you I'm well known in Chicago and people respect me. So I'm coming up out of there with supreme Naga intelligence, supreme research, where people then went out here and researched for years and verified these truths. And we sharing it for the free, not for profit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing this for a dime. We shattering paradigms. We hate liars where we from in Chicago. We was victims of the crack epidemic in the 80s, and we know what a lying-ass nigga look like. We know what they smell like. So we on top of every lying-ass nigga that's in America. We not playing with you. My heart is in Mississippi and Alabama. You know, my soul is in Chicago. You know, and my presence is in Chattahoochee Valley and Georgia and Alabama right now. So this is my land, and I'm going to show you how we represent. We're going to let you know who we dealing with. You got a lot of people getting on the YouTube sitting up here telling you who they is. You know, in particular, Dane Calloway did a video with Chief Warhorse the other day. A female empress up out of the South somewhere. You know, Chata, whatever she claiming. She say she ain't no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for that, because I never heard a Moor sit up here and say everybody is Moors. You know what I'm saying? But they giving you the knowledge on what Morin is and, you know, the legacy behind it. That's all I heard of Morin do. I never could imagine everybody being a Morin. That's sitting up here saying that everybody is a U.S. Army Ranger. That's up here saying that everybody is a general. Everybody is a commander. Everybody is not a commander. A Moor is a leader. All you people ain't leaders, but a Moor will step up in a leadership position when things don't look right. You know, that's what I can see a Moor doing. Like in my position, I see a bunch of idiots. That's why on my last video I put Pan-Africans low IQ, because we dealing with people who cannot comprehend. You know, they will sit up there and look at your content and will not read it, will not comprehend what they read, but they look for keywords to make them dislike you. You know what I'm saying? It's like dealing with little children, minorities. That is why the U.S. government, they classify these people as wards of the states and minorities, because they are grown, child-minded adolescents. You know, so let's break down this video, you know, of the part 2 of Dane Calloway on trial, the Aboriginal Chiefs, the Pan-African low IQs, and IsRaselite. Alright, let's deal with the facts. Let's deal with the facts. Let's get straight to business. Let's get straight to business. Now that you know I'm back. Now that you know I'm back, let's get straight to business. And I'm not about to play. And I appreciate y'all listening to my intro, because it's about to get creative. Because I didn't get all those views and likes because I'm not dropping that information. So this part 2 is going to take some time. The last video took 1 hour and 50 minutes. So take some time out of your life to get some truth serum up into your day. Alright, now check this out. Last video, I proved that Chief was Latin. Last week I proved Chief was Latin. Now I'm finna prove that Mayor is Spanish for more. So we have a Moor that's in charge of your town. We have a Moor that's in charge of your town, right? And we also have a sheriff or a sheriff with the 5-point star in charge of your town. So you sitting up here telling me that we not Moors. So I'm finna break it down to you why we is Moors, and if you have not caught on yet, that is not my fault. So, but basically what we gonna do is teach you how the law goes, because people who can't comprehend, right, they might not be able to read or write, and they'll still be trying to tell you something. You understand what I'm trying to say right now? You have people out here who cannot read, write, or comprehend, and they're on the YouTube trying to tell you something. So we gonna break it down lawfully, you know, and word for word, or what's going on with the professionals, the administrative people that's breaking it down on how we operate as lawful beings and corporations out here. So we have Chief. Chief is Latin for capu, or captain, chief, Old French. So we dealing with Moorish language, because we know Alexander Dumas and Alexander Pushkin civilized Europe and Germany and all those countries with Latin. We know these are Moorish Phoenicians, Venetia. So we got to deal with the facts. We got to deal with the facts, man. That Moors are in America, been in America, because Sharif and Sheriff is synonymous. Mayor and Moor means majority. Okay? And we been in America. The new Aboriginals, the Chief Warhorses, the Chief Kalinago, the Chief Firefox, okay? Chief X, all of these chiefs, they have the seal. They have the terminology of the Moors, but they're saying they're not Moors. So we have to be looking at these people like they're retarded, or we have to be looking at them like they're agents. It's no other way around. Now, they're going to convince you that other people are agents for going against them. But we have to understand that illiteracy and ignorance makes people agents by default. When people cannot comprehend and they don't know what they're talking about, they're agents. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Why do Latinos call each other Negro and Negro? That's Latin. Now, let's get to the facts that what I'm about to get to. Because we're going to get to Dane Calloway, and we're going to get to the Aboriginal Chiefs, the Pan-Africans and their hoteps, and of course IsRaselite. So the Reconquista, the struggle among the Christian kingdoms and the Moors lasted until 1492. By 1512, the unification of present-day Spain was complete. During the 16th century, Spain became the most powerful nation in Europe due to the immense wealth derived from the possession in the Americas. So after they conquered the Moors in 1492, magically Spain became in possession of the Americas. Why is that significant? Because they saying the Moors was not in America. So we have to get on top of that. We have to prove the Aboriginals wrong. You know, we have to prove the Pan-Africans wrong. That we are African by nationality and race, and that we came on slave boats. That's all that matters. The Aborigines is saying Moors is not over here and they not Moors. You have to listen to them, because we're going to keep interpreting what it takes to be a Moor, what it means to be a Moor. We dealing with some supreme beings. We dealing with people who on the highways and the byways up in these oceans. You see this red square up here, where Europe is at? Britain is called Armorica. And magically Britain is in possession of America, and we got rid of them too. So now listen at the Reconquista. The Reconquista was just not in up here on this little landmass right here. The Reconquista was in America, and I'm gonna prove it in this video that the Reconquista was in America. They came and destroyed the Moors in America. Okay. They came and destroyed the Muslims in America. And the people that we seeing on YouTube who keep mentioning Moors, they have to be agents. Because, you know, I'm not an ultra Moor, fanatical Moor, Islamic person who finna just be Allahu Akbar and all that. I'm American and I got my own culture. And I represent myself how I represent. So my thing is, why do they have to keep mentioning Moors? What is the big deal about Moors and these Aboriginal groups, this African American and African group, mentioning that they're not Moors? Who is paying them? I don't know if somebody paying them. I don't know if it's out of spite. I don't know if it's out of jealousy. But guess what? We have the facts and the truth that there was a heavy Moorish presence in America for a very long time. And I'm going to put the pieces together because Ra has guided me and chosen me to put the pieces together, because I'm good at it. Because I've been on Google Plus for a little while, helping people comprehend, and they get it on Google Plus. Now that has to carry over into YouTube, because we have some idiots on YouTube. I don't have to say their name. You know, they got the little channels and the Patreons and the PayPals. You know, all of them. You know, I don't have to say their name because you know who they are. So, and they have the news channels where they expose white supremacy and black blunders. What's going on in the black community. The two slave casts, white and black. You know, they report on them every day. So I don't know who's putting them up to that. I don't know what makes them do that. But this is where we differentiate real from fake. We're going to break down true facts that can free your mind. Now, let's start with the fact that the Aboriginals want nothing to do with Moors. So we're going to separate Moors from Aborigines. We have Dane Calloway, the Chiefs, and the Aboriginal Chiefs who flood the internet with all this chiefdom. And we're going to break them down. And of course, I have to find some time for the Africans. Okay, so let's start right here. This is once in a lifetime, my people. Eastern Island, Indus Valley script. We went through this on the last video, but if I echo it, you can understand what I'm getting at. Because this is not Africa. You know, it's in India. And the Africans, some reason, a lot of Pan-Africans, they separate themselves from India. I don't know why. So we have Rongo, Easter Island, that I'm going to point out one more time in this video, in India with the same script. Okay, so here we go. Since we are bringing gang members on the internet, you know, talking about Dane Calloway. In Chicago, we have people and folks nations, and we have a lot going on up there. We've been around for a long time. We call ourselves people and folks, and we've been going at it since the Tennessee Mountain feuds. We know exactly who we is. So we have people and folks. You might have heard them as Vice Lords and Blackstones, and gangsters and black disciples, and other cliques. So this is what we got going on in our culture in Chicago. Can't nobody else speak for Chicago. This is the folks. This is what the folks do. You know, So this is what we do. If anybody want to ask, you know, when they get on the YouTube talking about what does the Moors do, what do Chicago do, you have to understand that the Moors and Chicago was synonymous because we on the Great Lakes, brother. I don't know what they own in the South. You know, I ain't never really lived in New Orleans, even though I got family in Mississippi. But they down on the bayou in the swamps. They down there off the Gulf, in the salty ass Gulf. We on the Great Lakes in Chicago, man. You know, we on the rivers up there, man. You know, so, and plus, you know, it is what it is, man. Ain't no hate, man. But we got to represent who we is, and this is who I am. You know, you can Google peoples and folks, but just don't listen to the Europeans when they say we gangs. We done been speaking before Congress. We done represented. We done some mighty stuff for this country. They call us peoples and folks, and we was our own nationality, you know, and our own government before they came and broke us up and locked a lot of our leaders up and called them gangs and terrorists when they wasn't gangs and terrorists. It was the white, you know, mobs and stuff hating on us. So let's get back to the facts of why they lying to you. So in 1866, during the Civil War, the last leader of the Cherokean or Cherokee Nation was a Muslim named Ramadan Ibn Watis. Okay, so this is for the Aborigines of Dane Calloway. Okay, Dave Calloway, you causing all this confusion with your blood and your crip, your crip buddy. You know, did you know that the Bloods was an organization started by T. Rogers, and T. Rogers is from Chicago? Do you understand that, Dane Calloway? Huh? And all of you new Aboriginals, you young Aboriginals out here who thinking that you scaring somebody. Now, the last leader for the Cherokee Nation was a Muslim. So you don't know what you're talking about, you damn new Aboriginals. And all we're going to do is keep hitting them in the head with facts because, God damn it, we need the Aboriginals. They the population. So it's like, you know, you want to bust their heads with the information to make them look stupid, but you got to teach the Aboriginals because they the fucking Negroes. You know, so hopefully I'm teaching you Aboriginals, you know, and you don't listen to the powers that be that's trying to hate on me because you can't hate on the light. The light is going to burn you. You just going to see them burn up and thin air. As you see them burn up and thin air, you're going to know what the light is because I'm not running. Anybody who mess with this is going to get burned up because it's pure fire. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. So you cannot dispute this. Why is your leader in the Cherokee Nation a Muslim? Why is he? Why is most Native American, even reservation Native Americans, Islam? Why? Why they not these stupid Native American religions who claiming that they're not Moors? Notice the Pan-African or the African-American New Age Aboriginals. That's what I call them because they was just Africans. Most of these people are watching Dane Calloway videos and they're basically like, oh, I'm woke. You know, Dane's waking us up. So they're just waking up yesterday, you know, when all of us, we've been here. And they're getting on my video telling me about some goddamn Dane Calloway. So this is where, you know, me and Dane Calloway bump heads because I have a right to freedom of expression. And I'm not black, Negro in color. I'm not an MBC. And I'm damn sure I'm not African. So I'm out here proclaiming my indigenous rights, putting in work for all these damn years, and all of these damn African-American Aborigines is getting on my goddamn channel trying to teach me something when you should be out learning how to think like your goddamn leader. You know what I'm saying? Because Dane Calloway not my leader. He from Washington, D.C., wherever he from with those Crips. You know, I'm from Chicago. And like I just said, brother, let me tell you something, brother. You know, this is Chicago, man. You know, and I'm giving you a lesson. And yo, Chiefs, we people and folks, man. You know, y'all know us. Y'all know what we do. The government didn't make us look bad, but we been putting in work. You know, we been doing what we do out of Chi-Town. And to disrespect us is some stupid ass shit, man, because we not gonna bow down. So I hope y'all respect this video because I'm gonna get into the facts. I'm not gonna get into the, you know, the violent, you know, nature of, you know, the aspect of warriorhood. We can do it intelligently too. We can do it with facts. You didn't know niggas in Chicago who represent people and folks was able to research like this. That's why y'all disrespectful, because this should be like a goddamn guy saying to y'all, like a nigga who got all of this motherfucking experience out here, you know, he on the internet giving us this game. Like, nigga, I'm not doing this for nothing. I'm finna really bust these niggas' head to show you why us Negroes in America is not African. You know, we got a third allele serum haptoglobin. You know, we don't have the same DNA as them. We have dominance DNA, you know, and that's why we more aggressive. You know, this is the last leader of the Cherokee Nation. Now, this is Yamasee. You know, they skeptical, but they got their own shit down here in Florida and Carolina. You know, Yamasee Indian Reservation. So we have to really get into their mind on the South Coast. They the first coast, you know, and they went through a lot of North Florida. And we got to get in their mind about where does Islam, because the trickery that they use, and you know, like Chief Warhorse and Dane Calloway and the other Michael Hampton, the trickery that they using is they don't say Islam, they say Moors. But they gotta understand, we Islam before all of that. Moor is an occupation. It's an act. It's a lifestyle almost. It's what we are as physical. Islam is the spiritual. So stop it. We let's deal with Islam. Let's stop being afraid. They forcing us to say Islam. A lot of us want to avoid it because it's taboo dealing with the terrorist act. A lot of brothers out here is Islamism, you know, it's peace. And they scared to actually say the word Islam on the internet, you know. But the Aborigines is making us say it. So we gonna say it. It ain't just Moors. It's Islam was in America, brother. So let's deal with that. When we say Moors, we talking about Islam, and we ain't scaring nobody. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't scared of nobody. So let's deal with the fact that the New Age Aborigines is saying Islam was not in America. I could prove them wrong on this video. Quite often, the emotions are going to arise, and they're going to thumbs down my video. They're going to slander me and try to scare me, but I'm going to keep pushing because the truth will always prevail and cause the change that is necessary. So, yeah, we need change, but we need truth first. So, I'm going to get to my intelligence that is going to lead us to the progress that we need for metamorphosis. So, they call a male deer a buck, from Old English buck, a male goat, from Proto-Germanic buck.On, Old Saxon buck, meaning a man is from, also used in the sense, especially fashionable man, also used of a male Native American or Negro. So, they call us bucks, and the African, he likes to make fun of us. You know, on how they breaking the buck breaking. The African like to make fun of the Native American Negro. So it says right here in this dictionary, and I can get the source, I think. I'll go back and get it. But the source of the term buck is a male Native American or Negro. Okay. So we're going to put two and two together for the Africans as we expose the Aboriginals simultaneously. So we have in Spanish major, mayor. We already know the Y, the J is silent. So this is what I want to get at with the Aborigines. They're saying we not Moors because we more advanced than y'all. That's why we more. And I want Chief Warhorse to understand that there ain't no disrespect to her beautiful looking female. You know, princess, empress up out the south. You know, be what you want to be. That's what we here to do. Protect you, ma'am. We here to protect you, to make sure you can be whatever you want to be. We the muscle. So I will never go against whatever you say you are. But when it come to teaching, when it come to intelligence, that's my job. You know, Chief Warhorse. So we going to break down what Chief Warhorse mean too. You know, everybody who got something to say on Google Plus, we going to break you down. That's all we doing. It's not emotional. So we get major and mayor. So the Aborigines is saying that we not Moors. Let me show you why the leader of your town is a mayor and you Aborigines vote. So I don't know if you brainwashed. I don't know if you feel like you're in danger or someone's holding you hostage, but you go and vote for a mayor who is the major of the town. He's a Moor, and that's all Moor means in Spanish. And you know, it can be used synonymously. So okay, you vote for a mayor, and also my Aborigine brothers, you vote for a sheriff. Let me show you that you vote for a sheriff. Sharif in Arabic. Teach to them. Teach to them. Teach to them. I teach to them. Like T.D. Jakes. Okay, we have Sharif. Also transliterated Sharif or sheriff. Okay, an Arabic word meaning noble, highborn, or honorable. It is etymologically unconnected to the word sheriff. It says etymologically. I can't even say the word. Etymologically unconnected. That's what they trying to say. We know that's a goddamn lie because they steal all their words from Arabic and Latin. So this is how dirty they is to get up here on Wikipedia and to say sheriff is not synonymous with Sharif of the noble people, the Moors. So we have Sharif. we have sheriff that you elect. A sheriff has to get elected to be the sheriff of your town. Okay? And we have the mayor. So we have the sheriff and the mayor. So we have these people who have to get elected to rule over you. You vote for them. You vote for them. Let me prove it to you. You must vote for a sheriff. You must vote for a sheriff. Let's see what it say. Why is sheriff an elected position? So I don't have to say no more, man. I don't have to say no more. You have to elect a sheriff. So you sitting up here telling me you ain't no goddamn Morris when you electing a noble person to lead over you with that 5-point star, that Morris 5-point star. So if you didn't see the signs of the symbol, you call it Masonic. That's on you for not being able to comprehend what you read and sign your rights over to. So you goddamn right you some Morris. You some little Morets. God damn it, because we smarter than you. We're majority. And I'm the first to keep it real. You know, I'm the first to keep it real, man. You know, I don't know if everybody want to walk y'all through this. They want to play with you about this. You know, just because you can't read and write, that don't mean the whole world is going to wait on you. So everybody started doing it for you. Now that you can comprehend it, I'm telling you that you are under control of Islam, no matter what you say. You know, it's going to always alter and affect you, just like you use algebra. When you using your mathematical skills, when you using geometric designs, you using all of the Muslim stuff. So let's do Sharif. Sharif also transliterated Sharif or Sheriff Sharif, Al-Sharif, Al-Sharif. Short for it is a traditional Arab title. The origin of the word is an adjective meaning noble. So feminine singular is Sharifa. So we dealing with the Muslims who was already him, because you still got your same culture in your city and your county, you know, electing your sheriff and your corporate officials, handling business for y'all. So the way it was, it still is. You know, ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. You feel what I'm saying? It's still the same. So we got Dane Calloway out here hyping up the Crips and the Bloods to get on the video and say he is right about, I don't know what the fuck he's right about, because he's basically reading from other books that already had this information or some shit and saying that, you know, this what's going on, and you saying he right. Because I didn't heard nothing new. Like he been to the United Nations or some shit with his tribal or nationality affiliation. Because we know goddamn well we ain't all in the same nation, because I'm not letting you niggas rule over me. So prove to me that we all in the same nation. We all might be akin to aboriginals who was once aboriginal, but we ain't all in the same nation. Like for instance, Chicago, Illinois, and probably Atlanta. I can imagine Miami. I can imagine parts of Alabama not being united with none of you niggas. You know, I can name at least 30 territories that's going to unite with Chicago with the snap of a finger. So I know that's some heavy stuff to be talking about on the internet, but you niggas ain't on nothing. You niggas is African Americans. Aboriginal Americans are African Americans because y'all too emotional. You know goddamn well y'all talk too much. And you got a chief. We got Chief Warhorse. So let's do the etymology. The etymology of Warhorse. Chief Warhorse. Okay, we got Chief Warhorse. She just confirmed that Dane Calloway is 100% correct. I don't know about motherfucking what the fuck he was correct about. Okay, so maybe she's a Warhorse chicken because they have Warhorse chicken. So it might be some Illuminati stupid shit trying to get us to jump the gun into thinking this is a real warrior woman who is about that life, who probably ain't even about that life. She probably an old ass retired woman, an old school teacher or some shit, school bus driver or some shit. So we got the Chata tribe. They a tribe, okay. So she's a tribe. They in the Chata tribe for the 2000 census, 2010 census. Okay, so they people is recognized. And she's saying they the Olmecs. Okay. Chief Warhorse and the Olmecs is still alive in North America. It's Queen Chief Warhorse. Let's get to this. Okay. American Indians. I'm so glad she came on the TV the other day. Because remember, she said she ain't no more. And she connected herself to the goddamn Olmecs. Oh, wow. We ain't got to hear her talk. All glory to the Creator. It's an honor to be here today, but I love the theme. American healing. But first, let's think about something. Where did America come from? Have it always been America? Or was it just created to be America? Who are the real Americans? America keep changing and changing and changing. Oh, alright. So, she all concerned about American and shit. And she's saying that she's Queen chief warhorse. So let's do the etymology of queen first. Etymon. The etymology of queen. Let's see how smart. Let's see how smart the queen warhorse is. Queen chief warhorse. Cause you know how we doing in this generation. We ain't playing no games with no goddamn liars and nobody who's playing. That's what these videos is about. You better have your shit together. If you getting up here talking about you gonna be getting some money in America. You know, you got the Patreon. You got the PayPal. Okay? You got all these fucking scams. Alright? So that's what this is all about. Because if you wasn't getting no money, if you was doing non-for-profit, I wouldn't give a motherfuck on who's a queen, who's a king, who's a chief, who's whatever the fuck they want to be. Because if you was doing this shit like the Catholic Church, these non-for-profits, these other groups that you like to slander on the YouTube, making them look bad, but you're collecting the same goddamn fiat currency. This is, you know, keeping this stupid illusion alive. So, we have queen. Germanic, Old English. So it would be Owen. It would probably be Quinn. English, queen, queen. So let's get some more translations. Okay, queen consort, plural noun. Queen, consort, monarch, sovereign, ruler, head of state. So this is one way to look at it. A king's wife, a woman or thing regarded as excellent or standing of its kind. Synonyms: doyen, star, superstar, leading light, big name, queen bee. A woman or girl chosen to hold the most important position in the festival or event. Football stars and homecoming queens. In the UK, the national anthem, when there is a female sovereign, singular proper noun, queen. The most powerful chess piece. Etymology. Let's do the entomology. Ooh, let's do the entomology. A reproductive female in a colony of social ants. Okay. Origin. Germanic. Queen. Queen. Okay. Okay. So, it's European. It ain't that bad. It ain't bad. It ain't bad as I thought it was. I thought it really meant some other shit. You know, like some prostitute shit. That's what I was trying to find out. But it ain't that bad. Okay, let's get up out of queen. But we see what queen is. It's definitely Germanic Old English. So Cha-Cha speaks English, her Cha-Cha language. Let's see, we're going to go back to the Cha-Cha language next. Let's go to, chief. What is queen, chief? We got chief already, it's a captain. So, queen, captain, ruler, warhorse. Etymology of war. Okay. Old English from Anglo-Norman variant of French guerre from a Germanic base share about words. Okay. A state of armed conflict between different nations or states. So she's in conflict. Okay, horse. Let's see if they might give me something for horse. Let's see. Let's see. They might give me something for war horse. Let's see. We're gonna break her down before we even get to talking about what she know. Especially armored knight. Okay, we dealing with some European shit, some war type shit. Okay, let's do it like how I want to do it, because I gotta hurry up with this video. I can't be wasting all this goddamn time with my slow self. Okay, let's just do horse. Origin of horse, so I can get out of here. Dutch. Okay, Ross, Horus, like Horus. So I give her that much. It might be Horus, something like Horus. Up out the Egyptians, it is close to Horus. Horse meat. Okay, Ross. So it's Ross. Okay, they could be lying. One thing I'm gonna give a benefit of the doubt that they could be lying. Everything could be a lie. It could be bullshit. But that means she lying too. So we have queen. We have queen chief warhorse of the Cha-Cha. Okay. So let's see if Cha-Cha have a written language. Does Chattanooga? I've been to Chattanooga a lot. Cha-Cha Indians have a written language. Okay, I'm teaching y'all right now. Only a couple of y'all don't. Only a couple of y'all gonna get this. Do Native Americans have a written languages? Most languages in the world have never had written forms. Not just Native American ones. Some of those languages, without commonly used writing systems, are spoken by many people. About 60 million people speak Ute, a language in southern China, often called Cantonese. Okay, why is the only Indian tribe that had a written language? Okay, Southern Iroquois and Cherokee. So remember the Cherokees came up with their language late in the game. Somebody came and helped them break some shit down. And Southern Iroquois. And we know Iroquois is basically the Illinois people. The Illinois speakers. Up in there where John Baptiste was at. So, and they got a lot of Creole with their Algonquin languages and they Arabic. So we gonna put two and two together. I gotta make this video interesting. This is the learning segment. And I hope you stuck with me because we breaking shit down. So we got Chata don't have no goddamn language. Chief Warhorse was never civilized, and that's why we got the goddamn 5 civilized tribes, people. So how do we have somebody who's not civilized and have a written language cannot be trusted? We love her to death. She beautiful. We beautiful. She beautiful. So why in the fuck you think us Moors came down here with the cannons and built forts on Pensacola to protect her? And she don't even want to thank us. She want to go and get her goddamn money, her cash check from the federal government. You know, because that's what these women do. They talk shit about us alpha males, and they go get their goddamn check. Because if she's growing her own goddamn food and got her own money, then she's a queen. I guarantee you the Queen of Britain has her own goddamn money. So let's stop playing the goddamn games with this Masonic bullshit, people. So we know what a chief is. It's a captain. We know what a queen is. It's a goddamn European king wife. So she is a wife of a goddamn European. Okay. Now we have Warhorse, which is a European war, and Ross. And we had Horse is Ross and War is some other European shit. So I don't have to keep explaining you that these motherfuckers is European niggas, man. The European niggas is, you know, the niggas who always talking about Chief Bearhorse, Chief motherfucking Parakeet, Chief Redbird, Chief goddamn Sunnyfire. You know, they Indians, but they have English names. These is the goddamn Europeans. Because they have to have some names like Tuska Mukdokto or Chiska Malachi. You know, some old funny sounding shit, man. Come on, catch on with me, y'all. You know, I'm trying to shoot this goddamn video, man. This shit damn near funny. So we have an English-speaking chief who uses English as her primary language and also Latin. She uses Latin and English, so by law, she's a fucking Latin and English. You know, she's not Aboriginal. Aborigines is those people who can stay the fuck out the way. You know, they been staying out the way and they survived. The motherfuckers who didn't survive is the niggas who is in civilization now. You have been civilized. So we trying to get them a route out, you know, to be Moorish. So they can be on the highways and byways unmolested because the corporations and industries is here. The war party is already here, man. It's already a war party. It's over with. You see the Kenyan president meeting with Trump's. This is the motherfucking Canaanites. So if the Canaanites is meeting with the goddamn Uranites, it ain't the shit you can do, nigga. You better get your shit together because he ain't playing no game. In your mind, he African and he your people? No, the fuck he ain't. He got a whole different ambition than you niggas. And he got all your shit. He just hijacking you. He's like the nigga who signing. He's like your lawyer. You ain't got no nation, so Donald Trump is your lawyer. He's your head lawyer in charge because you don't know shit. Because the Chief Warhorse and them talking about they some goddamn queens, but they spending them greenbacks, nigga. They is spending that goddamn money, nigga. And I just proved that the mayor is a major of your town. I just proved the sheriff that you elect, making you de facto Mars. So we have Maurya Empire in India. It don't get no cleaner than this. I'm putting it in your brain, so eventually it's going to embed. We have the Maurya, Nigga Maurya dynasty in India, who the Indian American niggas love to claim. I guarantee you, now that I exposed this shit, the Aborigines ain't going to want to be Indian no more. They're going to be like, I'm just Aborigine. I'm not Indian. Because Indian is the motherfucking place of civilization over in this area. When it comes to smelting iron and building tall buildings, they the first to do it. They get their shit from these people up in here called Fiji, When you get over here, but it past this green to the east, there's some people called Fiji. Fiji get it from Hawaii. Hawaii get it from America. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the Mauryan Empire, and they later, the last empire that they come from them was called the Ottoman and the Nazi in German. They had the swastika. The swastika come from these people. 360. You know, the Egyptians come from these people. They not gonna teach you this shit. You better be lucky I'm teaching you this shit. I'm trying to fucking tell you. I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so we had Tunisia, named Africa by the Muslims. Tennessee, America is the first Tennessee. Tunisia in Africa, I believe, is the second. But I might have to get information on it, because this is proof that Moors is here. Now we have Ifriqiya is the name of Africa. It's named after Muslims. And we have IsRaselite coming down on Muslims. And we have the Pan-Africans saying the Muslims enslaved Africans. But yet, the stupid Pan-Africans is trying to say that you African Americans. So let's deal with this people right quick, because we're going to do simultaneous destruction to the Aborigines and the Pan-Africans. We're not gonna wait to say, okay, next to the Africans. And when I get the chance, I'll pause and I'll expose what I expose, because that's what this is. This is an expose. Now let's get to it. We have Sicily is attacked by Muslims coming up out of Tunisia. So they called the Africa by the Muslims, a name later given to the entire continent of Africa. So the Muslims back in that day were so cold-blooded that they got a whole continent named after them. So we have the Aborigines and Americans who elected a mayor and a sharif. And we have the African Pan-Africans whose whole country is named after Muslims, saying they not Muslims. So do you understand now why Aborigines and Pan-Africans, Sub-Saharans have the lowest IQs? Sub-Saharan Africans and Aboriginals have the lowest IQs. Uh-oh. 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 Okay, everybody talks about low IQ in Africans, but nobody does anything about it. I'm doing something about it. I'm letting you know that these people cannot fucking think. Because if you sit up there and rewind what the fuck I just said to you, you will see the intelligence in it. You understand what I'm saying? Basically, what I'm saying is, I just told you that the entire continent of Africa is named after Muslims. Yet and still, you have the Black Power Cartel led by IsRaselite saying that they are Africans, yet they are not Muslims. I don't get it. And they are saying Muslims enslaved them for 1,500 years. You have black nationalist hoteps in New York saying that they are against Islam and they don't like Muslims, and that they get their information from Khalid Muhammad and Malcolm X. So I'm making you aware of what your leadership is and how they think. They get their information from Muslims, and then they turn around and say they're not Muslims. So what we're dealing with is psychopaths. So we're at the point of exposing African Americans and Aborigines as complete psychopaths, because we cannot get to them. Because we have Queen Chief Warhorse, who's a European queen. Okay, she's a Latin chief. She's a European warhorse. Yet she's not claiming Europe. She's using their language. Maybe because she's retarded and don't know how to use her own language. She don't know how to devise her own language. But she's gonna use other people's stuff as a thief in the night, you know, and blame some type of casualty of war. I got beat up and they made me use my language. It's their language. But you got all this time to learn your own language and you still don't. Something's wrong with you, and I'm not going to accept that you are intelligent, because you're basically saying that you're incapable of learning your own language. You know, you can't do it. Something's not right. So that means you're hindered. You're hindered. You just cannot be progressed. You cannot function in a manner that will deem you intelligent. So we have the Africans who have the low IQs, who cannot understand, because their country is named Africa, We have us over here in America who claim to be Moorish Americans, and we still saying we not Africans. The reason why we not Africans because it's a particular title for a particular people, and we will be stealing. It will be like Mauritania, like we Mauritanians. We cannot just take Mauritania's name. If Africa was named Mauritania, all of y'all will be saying that all of us are Mauritanians. If Africa was named Morocco, a lot of y'all will be saying we Moroccans. If Africa was named Zimbabwe, all of y'all will be saying we Zimbabweans. You get what I'm saying? Because it's Ifriqiya. It's Ifriqiya. Because now we have Ethiopia and Eritrean leaders signing a peace agreement in Jeddah with the Arabians. So your Pan-African leaders just united with Arabia Muslims. So there's no way the fuck around the Africans. And I'm so glad to be doing this video right now because I'm taking myself serious. I'm taking you guys serious. And do you know how many goddamn thumbs down I'm going to get just for keeping it real? Because the truth hurts. Now, we have, how many alleles do the average human have? Okay. They have how many? In a diploid organism, one has 2 copies of each chromosome, 2 alleles, make up the individual's genotype. An example in the gene for blossom color in many species of flower, a single gene controls the color of petals, but there may be several different versions or alleles. Okay? So, this is what decide our characteristics. So, the inheritance of serohaptoglobin types in American Negroes evidence for a 3rd allele. Why do American Negroes have a 3rd allele? And I'm not gonna have to say, I don't want to say names. I'm just gonna say Pan-African Hotep, the conscious community in general. Because if they were agents, they would have this covered. That's why, the federal government, they will never stamp their name on top of any black extremist group. That's why they name them black extremism. So at the end of the day, if it all fails, these little House of Conscience, these little groups, if it all fails, they still fall under a criminal act anyway. So they can just sweep them under the rug because they're black. That's why they criminalize black, because they use these sellouts and they just sweep them under the rug. So we got the inheritance of a serum haptoglobin type in the American Negro, evidence for a 3rd allele. Now, you want to ask me what I believe that is? Because, yeah, okay, it helps us develop different types. Maybe the what's it called? The Melanesian type, the Austronesian type, and the Micronesian type. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe it helps us develop the same prototype, but different variations. And nobody does it better than us with the different flavors, with the copper color, the mahogany, the dark black skin, the light skin. It's so many types. So it would be evidence for that. You understand what this means now? It's evidence for that. And this was decided in 1955. Reported that when human serum is subjected to electrophoresis and starch gel haptoglobin, that portion of the alpha-2 globulin which binds hemoglobin differentiates into one of 3 distinct patterns. So, I don't understand the diet of the Negroes or what they were even eating before they got around the European and the African. These people are wonderful over here. They're distinct, and they're being perverted out of their nationality and their race because they're constantly being molested by Europeans and Africans. And we got to be thankful for the Southern Negroes for holding it together and not mixing out. So what does this mean? What does this mean? Having a 3rd allele serum for the American Negroes. It means that they are distinct. So, what I want my followers, the people that follow me, to comprehend about the African American and the Aborigine, people who can read and write, because I don't have a small following for nothing. I don't have thousands of people because I'm not going to let no idiots follow me. I'm going to eventually block you when I go through your content. When I see you only have 1 video up, you don't have any content, you're not active on YouTube, I'm going to block you. Because you could be just a troll or a fucking host or a spy. So that's why I keep my circles minimum. You're not going to see me with no thousands of fucking views, thousands of fucking likes, none of that shit. So let's deal with the African and the Aborigines' ability to think. What I just explained to you about the inheritance serum of the haptoglobin, they're not going to have a clue. Do you see this paragraph right here that I'm posting up? The Negro is not going to read that. The African American is not going to read that. That is the advantage that me and you have over them. That's what I'm sitting up here telling you what a low IQ is. You have the ones with the videos with the Patreon. You have the ones with the PayPals. You know, with the nice format. You know, the music comes on, the background music with the lights, and it looks like they're fucking in outer space and shit. You know, they're not going to read this. And that is the advantage you and I have on them, and that is why we are IsRaselite. And we're going to spread this like wildfire. The ability to comprehend what you read and build a vast research network. You understand what I'm saying? So, let's get on next to the next segment so we can, you know, do what we got to do. So, we got the Indians. We got the Aboriginal Americans saying that Indians is not Moors. So, let's do what we got to do. We have the Lasaku Sea Warriors in Fiji and Bao. You know, these are the people who control Hawaii. And since they lost some of the wars that they were supposed to win, of course they're not going to be able to tell the story they need to tell. You understand? They're not going to be able to tell their story. So this is the housing they lived in. And this is in the Fijian Islands in the Pacific Ocean. So we have the Indian, we have the Aborigine. We have the Aborigine saying that he's not Moors. You understand what I'm saying? The New Age Dane Calloway Aborigines is saying they not Moors. They went and they got their head empress, chief empress, queen, warhorse, to get on the YouTube and say they not Moors. No one has a problem with that because I'm more than her. She's a goddamn queen from the Chata, but I'm more than her because my intelligence matter over some goddamn ignorance. Do you hear me? My intelligence matters over some goddamn ignorance. So, when you got an ignorant ass nigga coming around, spreading a ignorant nigga ideology, do you think that means a motherfucking thing to me? No, it don't. Not in the world of intelligence. But you know goddamn what? No matter how ignorant a nigga is, or how slow a nigga is, they have the right to motherfucking exist. Because if homosexuals, child predators, and murderers get a second chance, you know we're going to give these motherfucking retards a second chance. My nigga. Okay? So, I'm giving these people a second chance to learn how to fucking think. Okay? So, let's start with the motherfucking facts, okay? With the Aborigines shutting down the Aborigines, shitting on them, shitting on the Pan-African hoteps, and revealing to y'all the light of Ra. Okay? And what your ancestors was on in America, doing some major shit. Okay, so we have the Mora, traditional owner Mainingo, second right, hopes to protect the site for future generations. Do you see these people, these goddamn Aboriginals of Australia? They are called the Mora. Why are they calling themselves Mora? Why did I reveal to you the Morena Kingdom with Prince Ramahandra and Queen Ranavalona? Why did I reveal to you the Moorish aspect of the equatorial people of Indonesia? Okay, Central America. Okay. Alright, in South Africa. Why did I reveal this? Because they are one equatorial. So that man, you has the Chata in New Orleans, wherever this warhorse lady is from. You have her and her, she's secular. She's living to herself. But you have these people have a vast empire with those pyramids I'm about to show you. I'm going to prove to you these people right here had the means to travel from one land to another. They were not just sitting in America claiming not to be Moors. They were mooring. Okay? They was mooring ships. Now let me show you they was mooring ships. Mooring. Mooring. A place where a boat or ship is moored. Mooring. So these is mooring. So this is the act of doing it. So clearly we know what a moor would be. Okay? So we're dealing with intelligence. We're not dealing with ignorance. Okay, so we have mooring. And we have these people. Where are they? We have these people, the Morars. Because they know who the hell they are. And you don't know who you are. And the raw art that redraws our history, they own it. And you don't. So you're going to sit up here and tell them their stories, African American, Aboriginal American, new under Dane Calloway. You think you're going to tell them their story? No, you can't. And that is why I am IsRaselite Supreme Cobra Commander. Need to check me out on Google+. We shut shit down. Now, we have Maynango disputing a site at Mejabibi, and it's at Jabaluka mining lease outside of the park. They letting them mine uranium over there. So you can imagine why they was killing them, because we was talking about atomic bombs. So they just killing Aboriginals to take uranium. And Maynango, she hangs on to her country because this country belongs to the Morar. And even the kids too, she said. You know, this is why she's, you know, they probably got AK-47s. I ain't gonna lie. These Aborigines probably got choppers protecting they shit. And, you know, they letting this one white dude in. You know, like, we'll let you come in. smhn.com. So, he got the boats, showing you that the Aborigines had the boats already. Way before some goddamn Africans. And they been knew about it. So, these boats could be the more boats. Because we know Europe got there in about 1800. Okay? And they called them a rock. So, you know, they got the rock art that redraws our history. So why would it redraw history if they just drew this shit? You know, they are showing you some shit about the 1500s, the 1600s, 1700s, when the Lasaka Sea people was already there, man. If the motherfucking Lasaka people was already on the ocean with the damn boats I just showed you, okay? If they was on the ocean with the boats I just showed you, what makes you think they wasn't in Australia? Do you understand what I'm telling you? Wake the fuck up. Okay? Out of Africa is a lie. Homo sapiens are part 8. What in the hell? Okay, let's deal with this. Because you don't want to deal with this. We have the Aborigine with the symbol in Australia and the same symbol in Turkey. Because they had boats. Not because they were walking people. Okay, and we have the Morar in Australia who's declaring a leasing suit. They're taking them to court to get off of their land because they're mining in their land. They should not be mining. Now, and if you just imagine for a minute, okay, if you just imagine and use your goddamn brain for a minute, you will understand that the Aborigines did not evolve from a single population in Africa, researchers suggest. And you will understand that the out of Africa theory has already been debunked. So, okay. The scientists responsible for the out of Africa theory admit they were wrong. Are we even listening? So, I have to read this to you because my plan is to shit on the African hustlers with the PayPal. And they call themselves conscious community. Okay, so we have to destroy the African, okay, for trying to make us Africans. Because if you become African, that means you are stupid too. So we have 4 generations in black media in Australia. A quick welcome to our new site under construction. Please be patient. So, ancient food in the ancient southern land. So we got the Australian reaching out, and niggas ain't even reaching out. They steady want to reach out to Africa, like you got this dude, you know, on the YouTube who went to Ethiopia. I'm not even saying the nigga name. This sellout nigga want to go over there to the Christian because he a Christian too. And need I remind you, the Christians took over our land and killed our people. So when you see these Christian niggas, you already know what it is. So we got ancient food in the ancient southern land in Australia. And I'm bringing Australia Aborigine culture to your door, because I'm not scared of no goddamn Australians, because I got Indonesian friends, just like I got African friends, man. So, the scientists responsible for the out of Africa theory admit they were wrong. Are we even listening? They were wrong and had the integrity to admit the mistake and to tidy up the bad research and errors made. Australian scientists say analysis of the oldest DNA ever taken from skeletal remains challenges the theory that all modern humans can trace their recent ancestor to Africa. What our evidence shows is the situation is much more complicated than any of these supporters of Out of Africa would have imagined. Dr. Alan Thorne, Australian National University. This is the source. I'm giving you a source. Now, need I remind you, IsRaselite, and people who can think, the African, okay, the African and the Pan-African and the New Age Aborigine, they are not going to fathom this, okay? Because you got the New Age Aborigine believing that he's the #1 man now. You got the African who thought he was the #1. Now you got the Aborigine saying he's #1. It's a competition with these guys. It's not facts that they're presenting. We got Dr. Alan Thorne, Australian National University expert. The study is based on the 60,000-year-old so-called Mungo man skeleton. You ain't never heard no goddamn Pan-African of the Dagger Squad say shit about no damn Mungo man, which was unearthed in New South Wales in 1974, and 9 other anatomically modern Australian individuals who lived 8 to 15,000 years ago. And here's the source. It said News BBC CO UK. So Australian historian Greg Jeffries explained that the whole Out of Africa myth has its roots in a mainstream academic campaign in the 1990s to remove the concept of race. When I did my degree, they all spent a lot of time on the Out of Africa thing, but it's been completely disproved by genetics. Mainstream still hold on to it. It did begin the early 90s, and the academics most responsible for cementing both the Out of Africa theory and the complementary common ancestral African mother, given the name Eve, in the public arena in nearly every curriculum were professors Alan C. Wilson and Rebecca L. Cann. Alan C. Wilson and Rebecca L. Cann. In their defense, the authors of this paper were fully aware that the genealogy is not in any way linked to geography, and that their placement of Eve in Africa was an assumption, never an assertion. So just because they got some bones out of Africa, they not saying that those bones are from Africa. Genetics cannot prove geography. Genetics cannot prove geography. Genetics cannot prove geography. Genetics cannot prove geography. Alright? So, just because you got some African DNA don't mean that you African. You understand what I'm saying? So, they lying to you, they getting millions off of you. We have Mungo Man in New South Wales. So far appears to be standing up to his story that he was hanging out around 60,000 years ago, and then he was a genuine Homo sapien sapien. So, we have to get the basis on this. And we have to get to the bottom of all of this. Because we talking about the sample of the Australian original mcDNA genes herself, which is passed on from generation to generation by women. Okay. 400, okay. Further back, and indicates that Australian Aborigines arose 400,000 years ago from 2 distinct lineages, far earlier than any other racial types. So we dealing with a complete scam here with this Out of Africa shit. We talking about a complete scam. So we definitely okay, let me make sure that I even get this my goddamn self. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and say this myself. And this is Generations Black Media. Yeah, that was kind of shocking to read that, even though I already knew. I ain't even gonna lie, I already knew that Out of Africa shit was wrong. That was crazy right there. So, anyway, we have the Marai people. We have the Marai people, and we have the Aborigines of America under Dane Calloway, saying that they the Marai, and they the traditional owner of Jubaluka site. Let me see what it's called. Let me make sure I'm saying the name right. Jabaluka Mejabibi site. Okay. So they fighting to keep their shit over there. They not exterminated. They still there. And they still looking like us. So the Out of Africa theory is irresponsible. And we know that. I done got on the Africans' heads. I don't have to get on the Africans' heads no more. You understand me? Because if you don't comprehend at this point, you want to play with the Africans, you want to debate with the fucking Africans, you want to unite with the Africans and the white people, you know, the white stupid scientists Alan C. Wilson and Rebecca Cann, they know they made up this hoax. So basically, Pan-Africa would not even exist without them. They're in sole control of that shit. So the government has to defend itself. America has to defend itself because we have psychopathic zombies out here who believe they're fucking Africans. That's just like if you pop up out of nowhere and call motherfuckers Zoom Zam Zams. Now they're calling themselves the Zoom Zam Zam people. You get what the fuck I'm saying? We're dealing with fucking retards, and they're willing to fight for Africa, and it doesn't even fucking exist. So let's deal with the facts. That I'm breaking this shit down to where it needs to be broke down. Okay. Now let's get to the latter part of this video. Okay, we have Muslims that were banned from the Americas as early as the 16th century. Okay. So we have Muslims that was getting banned here. Why were they banning Muslims? I don't know. You know, if y'all want to read it, I'll read it. But, you know, I don't feel like it. Okay, so we have the Creek Confederacy. Okay. Let's deal with the Indians being Moors. Because, what's her name? Queen Chief Horse is not no goddamn Moor. She done took herself out the equation. Okay. She done took herself out the equation. So we have the Coshada Alabama, spoken the upper Alabama River, the Tennessee River. We know the Tennessee folks is Tunisia, like Tunisian Muslims. That's why you have Memphis up on the river of the Mississippi, because we dealing with Moors. We not dealing with nobody else but Moors, and all of this shit is Creole. It's some type of Creole, and I can't get to the bottom of it right now. But I'm in learning the Alabama language and the proper Muskogee and Mexican languages to learn this shit. It's some goddamn old ancient Latin that you gotta learn in order to learn this shit, man. Most of these languages is fucking Creole, man. You know, Hichichi is like the Tuscaloosa Asati people. Most of these people call themselves Itza. And you have Shata. You see Kashata? That means some river folk. Like that old lady talking about she Shata. Shata don't mean shit but some river shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Chattanooga, Kashata, Kasati. Man, that's some river shit. So let's get up out of here. Let's get up out of here. Now let's get back to the Africans one more time. Let's get back to the Africans one more time before I get back to the Indians. Okay. Before I get to the Indians, Aborigines, let me shut the Africans down one more time. Let's deal with dominance genetics, African. Okay? Because I already proved to you, African. Pan-African Dagger Squad, Hotep, that we have a third allele and you have two alleles, African. And we have dominant genetics. That's why you don't like us, African. That's why you don't like us, European, because we are dominant. We are aggressive. We have three alleles. We are the warriors. We have always been known as warriors. And I'm going to prove on this segment that we call ourselves warriors and Louisa for a reason. Like Lewis. Because we're warriors. We're going to always fight. Okay. So let's deal with this. Dominance in genetics is a relationship between alleles of one gene in which the effect on phenotype of one allele matches the contribution of a second allele at the same locus. The first allele is dominant and the second allele is recessive. So when you people get to hating on white people, when you people get to hating on Mexicans for being an island, don't worry about why we say Mexicans are more related to us than the African Uhuru. Because we understand having the right genetics so we won't get recessivism and Down syndrome and albinism. So we keep the polytype. We keep the Australoid, the Melanesian, and the Micronesian in order so we can have this dominance in genetics. When we breed with them, we pick up certain traits that is needed and we remain dominant because the two dominant factors may create a recessivity. That's why that would be inbredism or tribalism. And that is why we are not a tribe, Queen Chief Horse, War Horse. Your tribe is independent into themselves. But I bet you y'all mating with us. I bet you they breeding with us. I bet you they eating with us. They claiming to be a fucking tribe, but I bet you they marrying us. You understand what I'm saying? All across the country, these fucking tribes is marrying us so they can stay alive. So technically, they're not a tribe. They just want to reserve their rights and keep certain taxation and non-tax obligatory. So let's deal with dominance and genetics, African. We have a third allele, okay? And you have a two allele. You're weak. And that is why we're not Africans, because of dominance in genetics. And the concept of dominance was introduced by Gregory Joanne Mendel, the father of genetics, first used the term in the 1860s. It was not widely known until the early of 20th century. Mendel observed that for a variety of traits of garden peas having to do with the appearance of seeds. So he noticed that the dominance traits in the plants, and I'm noticing it in the humans. We have the little people like the Twa, the Hutu, and the Tutsi. Hutu, Tutsi, and the Twa in Africa. The little people, the medium people, and the tall people. And over here we have the many complexions, and the tall, the short, and medium too. And we have the many collection. And this is what keep us in various patterns and keeping us from creating the same system of recessivity that you can see in Down syndrome in Chinese and in white people when they turn into albinos, because they believe in tribalism and incest, something we don't believe in. And that is why we dominance in genetics, because we practice this longer than everybody. So African, you practice incest, and that's why you think because your black skin is dominant to us, when in fact it's about intelligence, not skin color, my African. Because as long as we have you melanin, we are dominant, because you melanin is black and brown, my African. So we are dominant in genetics in America, and the Pacific Islanders are dominant in genetics as well. So let's get to the Indians so I can close this video out, because I'm getting tired. Okay. We have the 5 civilized tribes, the 5 sellout tribes, and I'm going to say their names. Okay, they not really the first sellout tribes. I take that back. I'm sorry. I take that back. The 5 civilized tribes were the people in the South who couldn't really read or write like Chief Warhorse and them, and they tried to civilize at the last minute. So let's say their names. Let's find out who they were. They were they first made contact in 1540. The Choctaw, Creek, Chickasaw, and Seminole. Okay, it's supposed to be 5. I don't see the 5th. Oh, and the Cherokee, I believe. Okay, so these are your sellouts. These are your sellouts. These are the people who tried to, get some recognition. They didn't keep fighting. So there's nothing wrong with staying alive. And their homelands was Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. So, the decimation of the Indian populations through warfare, disease, hunger, and slavery. So they enslaved. You had the Sioux and the Ho-Chunk in the north. Okay. They was in the north by the Great Lakes and other tribes as well. See, they don't mention other tribes. So we don't just have 5 civilized tribes. We have more. So you got these people who tried to civilize in the South, and they wind up getting banged up too. They wind up getting banged up. Chief Tainta and La Salle, receiving La Salle, the explorer. So I don't know if they was terrorists or what. I don't know what's going on, but I know these niggas. So the Indian removal led to the Trail of Tears, and I know y'all heard about that. So the first tribes was Choctaw, Chickasaw, Seminole, Cherokee, and another one. I'm sure y'all will find out. But you see where I'm getting at. Now, let's deal with this. We have one of the earliest advanced indigenous towns in the United States was founded on the Macon Plateau around 900 AD. Its founders were newcomers who carried with them many Mesoamerican cultural traits. They may have been either Itza Mayas or the hybrid descendants of both Maya and indigenous people. The language that most of the Creek Indians' ancestors spoke in Georgia was Itzate, Hichate in English. The Itza Mayas also called themselves Itzate. There are many Maya and Totonac words in the various dialects spoken by the Creek Indians that came from this area. So you have Uhuru, who just made the video saying that, why do Captain American Negroes keep coming on his videos, taking up for America? And in his video he said that we would rather claim Mexicans than claim West Africans. And I just gave you proof why, Uhuru. Because I know you're going to see this video, because you're a goddamn hating ass West African. So This is our connection, just like Chief Warhorse said that, you know, she's Olmec or whatever. Not knowing in her mind, her Negroidized mind, that Olmec is Old Meccan, like the Meccans of the East, the Meccans of the West, Egyptians of the East, Egyptians of the West. Mecca civilization is Olmec, okay? She doesn't understand that these ain't nothing but Muslims, and Muslims and Moors is synonymous. So she's out of her goddamn mind, just like the rest of these goddamn Looney Tunes. So we have Morea in the Pacific Ocean. We got to deal with this. We got to deal with this, my niggas. We got to deal with this. So we got the New Age Aborigines of Dane Calloway saying they not Moors. And you got me, IsRaselite, who's saying he is Moor. So let's deal with this Aborigines. Okay, so you not a Moor. You don't speak none of these languages. You're not from these places. And these people that's calling themselves Moors. And they appear to be Aborigines in Punawai and Afro-Fruity and Papa and Tahiti, French Polynesian. And we know French Polynesians look just like niggas. Because this is what they is off the coast of California. If you look on the coast of California, these islands is right there. Not even 50, 60 miles from California. These is American niggas. You understand? So you got Chief Kalinago. You have Chief Warhorse saying that they not Moors. But these people is Moors. And I'm Moor. We more than y'all. We're going to always be more than y'all. And y'all can't take that away. This is tunnels under Tuscaloosa. So, computer motherboard, Mayan Pyramid Complex in Teotihuacan, Mexico. They pyramid complex is like they was motherfucking programming the motherfucking some major shit. Okay. So, we dealing with Henrietta Lacks family. Okay, nah, we ain't got to get into that. Let's get to these goddamn Aborigines not being Moors. Ancient Creek Confederacy. Okay. Last Cherokee Muslim nation was a Muslim. Tuskegee language. Okay. Here goes Tuskegee. This the people where we come from. In Georgia. What we call Cherokees and Creeks and all of them people and Seminoles. They all the same, but it was one universal family at first. And Tuskegee is the people who, you know, the Tuskegee Airmen and the Tuskegee experiments. They are real people. They not no Africans. You understand what I'm saying? We have the African Uhuru coming over here disrespecting us. Family, surname, history. We got all this shit on here. You know, we got all this information. I'm not finna get up in there because we got the disrespectful Africans still calling us motherfucking West African slaves, laughing at us knowing they British protectors. So I can close this video out, man. You know, after I really, you know, dig in deep on the African, the Indians being Moors and the Moors being Indians. Okay, so let's deal with this. Let's deal with this. Okay. I hope this show up. That would be nice. It's taking hella long. Let me get out of here. Okay, the Flint River Primitive Church. Okay, we have Flint River Primitive Church. This is Baptist Church. This is in Georgia in 1808. It's no reason to call these people primitive if they not even Negroes. It's no reason to have these pictures of the Christian Indians if they weren't Negro. Look at these dark-skinned people. Now, these is the Red Sticks. These is the Creek Negroes who, you know, was trying to fight the so-called white clans in the U.S. Andrew Jackson and them. And this the so-called British who supposed to been helping them fight. But these people didn't know that the U.S. and the British was against them. So they getting double due. These the people who finna lose it all. And they finna wind up getting marched up out of there. And they men finna get killed. Okay. Now I gotta prove that these niggas is Indians. You know, I don't know if y'all seen this before. This is Peru. That is Peru. You know, for the Africans who don't believe that it was niggas over here with dark skin. This is in pre-Columbian America, Peru. And this is real deal art. That's not fake. Okay, we have what I wanted to show last week, and that was really the basis of this video. The Mora. We have the South American nomad cultures. Aquatic. We know Moor is aquatic. Mora. These people call themselves the Mora. The last time I wanted to prove with the Almira. If you see on here, in the Inca land in Peru on the east coast. On the west coast, you see the Mora in the middle. This red. It's a red dot. It's 3 aquatic people. And these are your Moors who live without y'all. They don't have y'all in their business. They call them Mora. So I'm proving Moors is Indians in America. So you see how they own little nation? That don't mean Queen Chief what's her name? Warhorse is a Moor. She's not a Moor. But that don't mean that the Moors is not spread out. It's Mexicans. It's all types of people that spread out in America. You understand what I'm saying? It's Hawaiians. I'm sure some of y'all have met Hawaiians and Japanese and Koreans who be like, I'm from Korea. You know, it's Moors in America. That's all we saying. But we have the African American and we have the Aboriginal American who is just now waking up saying that nobody's Moors. So what we trying to tell the African American on this video today and the Aboriginal American, that you are not Moors. You are not IsRaselite. You are not majority. You are minorities. You don't have to be Moors. It's no big deal to never mention Moor again in your life. You don't have to mention Moors. We do this for us. We go out and get this information for us, the people that's progressing to be better. So I just showed you the islands on the Moorea, the Tahiti. If you look up, it's kind of dark up where North America is. You can see how close the islands is. This map right here is over 100 years old. You see Moorea Pacificum. Look at the islands right off the coast of Chile, of South America. Those big old islands, how they drawn. Now look up. You see all those islands in there? Whenever you see a map nowadays, you know goddamn well they don't show all those islands in the Pacific Ocean. They show them far away down there by Japan. If you see New Zealand at the bottom, they try to show the islands close to New Zealand. They never show you these land masses right off the coast of America. So that's why I'm proving to you that Moors is Indians, because Moors is here and they look just like this. People like this, and you can't take that from us. That's all I'm telling you, people. You can argue with me back and forth that Moors is not Indians if you don't want to. I mean, if you want to. You can do that. You can waste your goddamn time, but you're not going to win, because you're going to only expose how ignorant you was. Because you see how we dressed in 1791. We didn't dress like no goddamn slaves. We didn't have no weak ass niggas, man. We been fighting. You know what I mean? We been doing our thing. We been fighting. We been holding it down. You see in Brazil, these is not no slaves. This is in Brazil. Kangaroos in Brazil. Okay. This is in Brazil. This is our people working in Brazil. You know, this is debunking the out of Africa. This is debunking the Pan-Africa. You know, this is debunking Hotep. You know, this is our work and my team. You know, I love my Google Plus family, man. You know, we is finna spill this over to the YouTube. We gonna spin over our information to the YouTube to block the Dane Calloway Aborigine movement because they retarded. They don't listen. You cannot just wake up. Dane Calloway woke you niggas up 2 years ago, and you mean to tell me you niggas is gonna get on the internet and thumbs down my video like you know every fucking thing? So let's deal with the fact that the African Pan-Africans thinking they finna still get paid by saying that we some slaves. This is the Brazil people, the Bremarimba, or Desfile de Domingo de Carnaval. So they doing carnival in the 1700s. What type of fucking slaves get off a slave ship to do a fucking carnival and to dress and have fun? You know, Apos or Mel Dia. These ain't no fucking slaves. And you see the feathers on top of his fez. So you deal with this shit, man. You know, you deal with this shit. You deal with this Aborigine shit. You deal with this indigenous shit. Because you people is retarded. This is for the African. Zoom in. Zoom in, African. Zoom in, African. Tell me that I'm out of Africa if I just prove that we're not out of Africa. Now, you know, you can sit up here and say this is a slave. This is a family. You know. These children, why would these fucking Mexican mestizos be sitting here feeding the babies if they slaves? They is one family even if they is slaves. Shit. But I doubt it. Let's deal with the Brazilians. Let's deal with the facts, African. You see the Negro Aborigine features? You see these people that's ready to fight? You see what this shit they got on? Ain't no African slaves over here putting on shit like this and they just getting off the boats. These is Indians. A lot of our people still look like this, and these goddamn Africans is disrespecting us. Okay? Now, I'm giving you a double dose today, Africans and Aborigines. Okay? Now, Aborigine. That's what I want you to answer me, Aborigine. Answer me this. Aborigine. Since you're not a Moor, why do he have this turban on with the feathers in Brazil? Huh? Why do these people look royal? Like royalty in Brazil, Aborigine. Why are he playing a saxophone if the saxophone is getting played in New Orleans? And it's something only nobility people had. This is Brazil. This is not Africa. I'm finna prove to you. Jean Baptiste Debray, he took pictures of Brazil. This is not Africa. Let me read it to you, New Age Aborigine. And this is why I defeat you at Chief Warhorse and Dane Calloway and Chief Kalinago and Chief Fire River, Chief Holiday. You're defeated. You're all defeated. Pocono Nation, you're next. Jean Baptiste Debray, 18 April 1768, 28 June 1848, was a French painter who produced many valuable lithographs depicting the people of Brazil. Let's get this straight. This is not Africa. Okay? And this is why I destroy you at, and that's why I am Supreme Cobra Command. IsRaselite. So let's deal with this. He traveled to Brazil in March 1816 as a member of the so-called French Artistic Mission, a group of Bonapartist French artists and artisans bound to creating in Rio de Janeiro in arts and crafts. Like him, Escola Rio de Artes e Oficios under the auspices of King de João VI and the Conde de Barca, which later became the Academia Imperial de Bellas Artes. The Conde de Barca was a Negro. Not no fucking mestizo. All of these is niggas. This is documented. This is documented. I can read this. This Apres Le Chute de Empire. Let's deal with what the fuck he was looking at. Okay, African. Okay, Aborigine. This is what he's seen in Brazil. Now, I want a goddamn Pan-African to come over. I'm so sorry for mixing them up. I want a Pan-Aboriginal to come on my video and thumbs down my video, because I'm proving that the Moors was in Brazil balling off the chain. And they were balling off the chain in North America. And you had this Chata European woman, Queen Chata Warhorse, saying that we were not Moors. Look here, lady. You are not a Moor. You're less. Okay? So this is my proof. Because you have the feathers in the turban, you have the crown, you have the king, you have the empress, the children. Look at the dress on. Look how we dress. Those filthy fucking Europeans, they seen this and they didn't like that, and they wanted to destroy us. Look at that. We was nothing like Chata. This helper has to hold his regal attire. Do you see the little one with the turban on with the feathers? We all know what the turban is. We know what the turban is. We know what the turban is, Aborigine. You can't trick me, Aboriginals. You cannot trick me, Aboriginal. You elect a mayor who is a Moor, and you elect a sheriff every motherfucking 2 years, Aborigines, in your town. And you can't trick me. Now, African, this is what I want you to tell me, because this is Jean Baptiste Debray's picture in the 1800s of a sister being carried around with a goddamn looks like a violin player. Okay? In Brazil. So tell me, how in the hell is an African slave getting carried around in the 1800s in Brazil, my Pan-Africans? So did you see how I just destroyed both of them? The Pan-African and the Pan-Aboriginal. Okay? Because we have gatherings of the black towns in Brazil. Okay? Because you have some slave stories. Yeah. No doubt a fucking about it. You know, it happens. Shit happens. But you know what, African and Pan-African? You know what? We're not no goddamn slaves. We're Moors. And that's why we will never agree to be slaves. And what I'm telling you, New Age Aborigines, is we're more than you. That's why I'm saying that I'm more. Because I'm not no slave. And I'm not going to never ever claim these titles of black and colored and nigger. Negro, black, and colored. Okay? These are some of the people that fought and survived in Florida. You have the Seminoles. And ain't got no Seminoles. Okay? You have Yamasee. They more Yamasee than anything. If anything, they're Yamasee and Calusa, warrior people. They're more than, that's what they're more than, because Seminole is some bullshit. It's a bullshit word. Like Chata is some fucking bullshit. You cannot be Chata. Chata only means river. It means on the river. And I can prove that with Muskogee language. And if I have to dig into my archives to prove it, I will fucking prove it. That Chata don't mean shit, but river. So ain't nobody's a goddamn river unless your ass is a Moor. And Moor is the proper terminology for that shit. So I cannot be defeated when it comes to this. So let's get to the main souffle. We have Pocono. We have this guy right here from the Pocono. Pocono tribesman, Wushu, threatening me. He says, IsRaselite Supreme Cobra Command, your statements are coming from a place of extreme ignorance. First and foremost, most of the Phantom member nations speak dialects of Algonquian, and we have found no direct connection to Arabic. As you should be aware, there are several different dialects. So Algonquian, and they can vary extremely. So it's not enough for you to say Algonquian is related to Arabic. You need to provide concrete evidence supporting what you are claiming, or else your claim is unsubstantiated. Further, your reasoning would not explain the Siouan dialects that many tribes in the southeast speak. Okay, so we know Sioux is French. It's a French word. It's Latin. Peoria, Illinois, Sioux. All this is French. Okay, so he want me to prove some shit about some damn Moors and Arabic and shit, you know. And I have no problem with that, Chief Wushu. Okay, Chief Wushanu, Inspector General, Chief Wushiku. I'm gonna do that since I need to provide some damn proof. You don't have to provide no proof, because if you lying, Chief Washanu, if I have to provide the proof, that means you've been lying all the goddamn long. So you live in a lie. And that's all the fuck I'm going to prove. Okay? Alright, Chief. So, let me prove what's really going on with these goddamn Aborigines trying to say that the Muslims or Moors was not in America. Alright. So I can close out this video. Big up to Walter Payton, Team Kangaroo. Team Kangaroo, baby. Alright. I got to get to this information of these goddamn these Muslim what's they called? The Indian Moors. Okay, we got Kali Nago. And we have Chief Warhorse on the scene. So, I don't know if Kali Nago, the nigga who's all on these videos and shit, the bro Sanchez, said was the first nigga on the scene. I don't know if this is him. You know, if any nigga give a fuck about Kali Nago, you need to let me know if this is him, because I'll leave him alone. Because this is the real Kali Nago Chief. You know, I don't know if this nigga Chief Kali Nago is this nigga right here, Charles Williams. So if you Charles Williams, brother, I'm not gonna mention your name no more, Kali Nago. But I'm trying to prove that Chief is a Latin term, just like Sharif is an Arabic term, just like Mayor is a Spanish term, that you English niggas is stealing, because you some stealing ass English niggas, just like the Crocker. So we have the Kali Nago Chief. We have the proof. So I don't know how these Aborigines is gonna get around this, because if they following the goddamn Kali Nago Chief from Dominican Republican, these niggas ain't telling us something. Because this nigga is the last chief of the goddamn Kali Nago in Dominica News, if you can see on this goddamn paper. I mean on this this text right here. So Chief Kali Nago could be fake. Basically, that's what I'm saying. So if Chief Kali Nago is fake, what makes you think Chief Warhorse, Empress Warhorse ain't fake? You understand what I'm saying? You see what I'm getting at? So look at the company Dane Calloway is keeping. Look at the company Dane Calloway is keeping. A bunch of motherfuckers calling themselves chiefs and shit. So you got where I live at. You see all this goddamn water. You know, it ain't no secret. You see at the bottom where it say Apalachicola River. That river comes up to all the way up to Atlanta. The other one comes up the motherfucking border of Alabama, and that's where you got Fort Benning at. You know, they don't have the base on here, but it's like 6 military bases all through this shit, and they ain't playing. You feel me? And there's a lot of good fishing all through here. Now, right up on this motherfucking border is where I live at. And it's a lot of niggas here. It ain't shit but niggas down here. It's nigga day. It's nigga day all day. It's some hunkies down here now. And there's some, you know, Asian folk down here. Indian. There's a lot of Indian, East Indian down here. It's some Mexican. But it's not a lot of them. So, you know. But down here it's going down. I don't know if Dane Calloway ever been here. Or Chief Warhorse. You feel me? But if you can see these rivers, it go right to the Gulf of Mexico. So you can imagine how we got down back in the day. You know, in the ancient times. You know, this is our shit. And you know, can't none of you niggas claim it. You know, this is our shit. So let me get out of here. Okay, let me get to the Indian part. You know, I'm getting close to it. Fire in action. I don't know if y'all never heard of fire. Okay, let me just give y'all a good look at that right quick. This is the lady who taught me about the Anasazi. You know, you see her out there. You see her in action with the other Indians. You see her? She got her own page. It's called FIAAH. And she ain't asked me to promote this shit. But I'm just telling you where I learned this shit from. You know, because I know many women who look like her. So you got Dane Calloway. When she came out, I didn't know shit about Dane Calloway. I knew about 1000 Go Ahead. You know, and I don't even think he got a PayPal. You know, 1000 Go Ahead with all the videos. And Aboriginal Legend and all them. So I don't know shit about Dane Calloway. And I got every right to put his ass on trial. Because I know about her. And I see her out here taking her place in the affairs of men. Doing her goddamn thing. And she claims Anasazi people were the son. You know, and if she come out and say something about the Moors, I'm going to be listening. But I doubt she'll ever do that. Because this is how you handle real business. You don't get on the motherfucking YouTube with little ass weak ass kids talking about you not a Moor. And you know goddamn well, if Europeans is here, Spanish is here, Mestizos is here, Pacific Islanders is here. You know goddamn well Moors is here. If we was the #1 people on earth at one time. So, we dealt with that. Now, let's deal with us. Let's deal with the truth. Let's deal with the truth, people. Woman arrested after allegedly beating elderly man, telling him to go back to Mexico. I stand with you. I stand with you, sister. Alright, let me get out of here. Let me get out of here so I can get to the facts. Let me get to the facts. Okay. Nagamoraya. Okay. This is big boy stuff right here. Alright, this is big boy. This is big boy stuff. Thank everybody for having patience on my video. I want to thank y'all. Thank y'all for getting me 1,000 views on my last Dane Calloway video. Okay, we got the Tawakoni, Tawash, Wichita in Kansas, who was pushed out of Illinois. I don't know shit about Chief Chaka, Chief Warhorse, you know, her people, but I know about these people. And I know the Wichita Indians already came out in public and said that they consider Hawaii people, and that they Moors, and the Spanish came and fucked them up too. Maybe the Spanish was over here fucking up Moors. And not Chief Warhorse, because her ass is still alive. Because the Wachita, all you have to do is Google Wachita clan they Moors, and they gonna say they Moors. And they is contrasting what Chata Warhorse is talking about, my people. You understand what I'm saying? They is going against that. These Carolina people is kin to some other people from the Carolina Islands in the Pacific Ocean. They the same people. They the same particular people. And they call Isa Coquel. They call Isakoko. I'm finna show you exactly who these people is because my research is superior. They are a particular people, and they were so warlike. They ruled from a latitude from the Caroline Islands in the Pacific Ocean all the way to the Caroline land in North America. So I'm finna prove that too. Proving that the Pacific Island people is the same in America. And they the turban wearing Muslims that I've been showing y'all. So we got the turban people. This is in New York. So maybe this is what they talking about, the Moors coming over here. You see them in the back. Clearly he look locked up, the ones on the ground. And you see the turban wearing Moors. But they got their shoes off. So these is an ancient time people. This is back in the day. So we been over here capturing these goddamn naked ass, dumbass niggas who acting like they civilized. Chief Warhorse and them over here uncivilized. They not fucking mining for no resources. They not using industry. They not using technology. These motherfuckers is over here on some uncivilized shit. So I don't give a damn about what Chief Warhorse and them talking about. So we got the turbans on. And they mad because we civilized. And they'd rather be civilized by the white people because they some hating ass niggas. Because we civilized, as you see our bodies is covered up. That's one proof that we here. Now, that's proof that we here. Because right about now, the Africans is absolute. In the Bahamas, you had the Lucayans, the original inhabitants of the Bahamas before the arrival of European colonizers. They were a branch of the Tainos who inhabited most of the Caribbean islands. A branch. The Lucayans were the first inhabitants of the Americans encountered by Christopher Columbus. Okay, so it was the Lucayans. Okay. So the Lucayans was a Guanche of the Canary, in part because they were intermediate in skin color between European and Africans. They were like a copper-colored people. The Lucayans were described as handsome, graceful, well-proportioned, gentle, generous, and peaceful, and customarily going almost completely naked. So we're dealing with some completely naked women. Peter Martyr de Angeria said that the Lucayan women were so beautiful that men from other countries moved to the islands just to be near them. Women past puberty wore a small skirt of cotton, and the men might wear a loincloth made of plate of leaf. So basically, these naked people were being molested by Europeans and Africans. Men from other countries came over here just to be near them. That's how beautiful the American women was. So their women was ugly. They came over here just for the women. So we're talking about the people, not just the warhorse people. We have different people. We have the people in Bahamas. Okay, this is in Nassau, Bahama Islands. This is not slavery because they just told you these people was here before European colonizers. You see what I'm saying? So they're their own people. The Africans are perverts. They want to take your legacy. You have cuneiform found in Moab Mountain in Utah. Even Rongo is from America. So we dealing with ancient people. So we crushing the Aborigine and the African at the same time in my part 2 extravaganza of exposing Dane Calloway shenanigans, Aboriginal Chiefs, Pan-African Hoteps, and IsRaselite is the supreme source of information for these times and days in the informational era known as the Golden Age. We have examining 1884 how the Europeans seen the Bahamas people. So we have this brother by his little boat, and we have a bigger boat with a sail on it. And we have sails. And we have a sister down bottom with a red thing on her head. Okay. With a red wrap on her head, barbecuing. What appears to be barbecue. So we dealing with people who had boats in the 1800s and 1885. So we're debunking the African. Okay. We're debunking the African. So, you know, we have Louisiana territory where nobody was in this area of European descent until 1804. So we don't have no African slaves here. We don't have no Europeans here to 1804. So we're dealing with 200 years ago, people. So we got Scottie Pippen that's from Hamburg, Arkansas. Let's look at the Mississippi River. It comes from up the Gulf. It comes all the way up here. Okay. We have Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. And then we have the river. And it goes all the way up here, up to Minnesota. Not Indiana, that's Indiana. So it goes up through St. Louis, up to Minnesota. So we have Scottie Pippen, who is an Indian, not an African. So we presenting information that's debunking the African. we debunking the African, and we destroying the myth of the Aborigines saying Moors is not Indian. So African, we have our own banks with our people on there. Why are they putting slaves on the money? Because they was sharecropping. They was a team. There wasn't no slavery. So we have the Indian. We have the Indian with corn in this. You know, corn is indigenous to America. My Aborigines. We have the corn, which is indigenous to America, being held by the Naga in India. So this is showing you the connection of the Indian connection of the Moors and the Indians, my Aborigines. So you see the sculpture of the Nagas sculptures holding the corn in their hand. It's no excuse. It's no reason for these Indians to be holding this corn unless they was here in America, my Aborigines. Now this is Sardar Singh Maharaja, and I showed you Ramahantra, the Prince of Marina Kingdom, on the last video. And the Sanskrit title for the great king or high king of Jodhpur, aka Marwar, aka, they want to say Marwar when it should not be Jodhpur, it should be Marwar, a region of southwestern Rajasthan state in western India. Marwar, because they don't want to let you hear that Mar, because Maharaja in 1895 at the age of 15. So we have this brother looking like us that Chief Warhorse want to hide from us. And you see the corn. We see the corn. We see the Indian with the corn. It's only one way he's going to get that corn, my people. It's the only way he can get that corn is he was over here in America. This is a Hawaiian woman. Queen, I'll get her name later. And I showed you 1866 Ramadan chief of the Cherokees. Okay? I'm showing you these things for a reason, people. Macon, Georgia, one of the earliest advanced indigenous towns in the United States, was founded on the Macon Plateau in Chattahoochee, Georgia. So we're talking about Macon, Georgia, by Atlanta, Georgia, an hour away from Atlanta, in between Columbus, Georgia, was one of the most advanced towns in 900 AD with Mesoamerican culture. Okay? So, are we going to sit up here and listen to these people? Or are we going to research through IsRaselite, Supreme Cobra Command? Because I'm happy. I'm happy to be a part of Chief Tuscaloosa's legacy in Alabama and Utah. Okay? And I seen the Utah, Alabama passage that I should have looked up. This guy looks like one of my best friends, the Vadens. Indian Morayan. So, no one is making this stuff up. Did you see the serpent and the 6-point star for the Sambo Judeans? Sambo the black god? No one is making this up. Aborigine agents are taking time out of their lives just to mention the Moors. I don't understand why. Look at this barrel. And look at the 6-point star and the serpent on it. We're dealing with a particular people, okay, who wasn't primitive as you think. We have Indian Moors, Indian Morayan. The only reason that I'm doing these videos is because we have people who could be possibly lying. They could be lying to you. And guess what? I'm not going to let them get away with it. You know goddamn well I'm not going to let them get away with it. Okay? Because I already showed you the Maurya Naga of India. Okay? This brother looks like Tommy Wright III. And he's in India? King Asoka? Shaka Zulu and them? Fellow wearing Indians in South America? You think I'm going to deny this brother his connection to America? This Moorish Indian? Look at the beauty of this brother. Surroundings. Look at the brother. Elegant stance. And you think I'm going to turn this down for some goddamn naked ass aboriginals who's telling you we not Moors? Do you see the Indian connection? Do you see Arjang Singh? Raja Prince? Do you see this turbans? The turbans in Florida? Do you see the connection now? Maurya? It was Maurya, not India. That's why they're calling you Indians. You were Maurya in India. You are Maya in Central America. Okay? Sir Mir Muhammad Khan? Mir Muhammad Khan of Kalat, located in the center of the province of Balochistan, Pakistan. This is who is running Balochistan, Pakistan, where the heroin is at. It's all about the dope, man. It's all about the dope. Mariah Nagar. So I proved it in this video. By default, I can stop this video right now because I prove the Mariah Nagar Indian Blackamoor connection. By research alone, I've already crushed the Pan-African Morayaka. Okay? Mayuraka. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about, Chiefs, Aboriginal Chiefs of Dane Calloway. You don't know what you're talking about. I cannot express this enough. The Mariah Naga Hindu connection is all too obvious. Only real researchers is going to appreciate this video. Only real researchers is going to appreciate this video. Only real researchers is going to appreciate this video. That I might add. Now we got the emotional people who gonna thumbs down my video just because it's Dane Calloway. They're gonna thumbs down as soon as they see his name. If you're not talking about some primary preschool shit he's talking about, they gonna thumbs down your shit. Did you know that? So I get to kill two birds at one stone with the Pan-African and the Pan-Aboriginal, because we're dealing with two idiots. So once we get past them, we get the consolation prize in white supremacy, which is also a bunch of idiots. So, but they're much more coherent and organized. So it's not going to be easy to get to the white supremacists. But I tell you, the Aborigines and the African Pan-Africans are totally easy. So you have the white person on the lap of the Negro in New York. Okay. So this is New York. You see the Statue of Liberty. You see New York up there by the Negresses that says some nigger stuff. And we have some king that I can't read his name in the 1900s. So we dealing with kingdoms that's getting dismantled right before your eyes. Right before your eyes, people is getting dismantled, and they call them Africans and black African Americans and Negroes and coloreds and stuff, Afros. You know, we're getting dismantled. This is in New York. So we have the Aborigines, Calicoa. This is Hawaiian Calicoa, right? Hawaiian Calicoa of Hawaii, and they're depicting him as a Negro and his people that he seems to be selling out, that they're trying to get out. It looked like he got a big sack of money under his chair. And we have the Negro on the mainland of America. We have Hawaii he's on the mountain of Hawaii, and we have the feathered Negress in New York, America. Okay, with the Statue of Liberty. So clearly they showing you that they raping the shit out of her at the helms of the Mu Empire, Hawaii. Okay, so I'm giving you advanced research that you're not gonna get nowhere else, and this is why they saying the Moors sold you out. Okay, so this is your Moorish sellout. Moorish sellout. Okay. Islamic sellouts, turban wearing. So that's who sold you out, but that doesn't mean they're not from here. That don't mean they're not from here. Okay, so I can close this video out on that note of part 2 of exposing if Mayan religion and Tamil is connected. Okay, so I can leave on that note. Okay. Matter of fact, I don't even want to see that. The Mayan religion and its Tamil connection. Let me see the Cameroonian speak Tamil. And I can go ahead and get up out of here with the Pan-Africans that speak Indian.
Cameroon is a country situated in the northwestern side of Africa and is surrounded by Nigeria in the west, Chad in the north, Central African Republic in the east, Gammon in the south, and Congo in the southeast. Recently, Mr. Dinesh Kumar of SRM University had sent me a video link saying that the African children in the video speak Tamil words. We took it for analysis and found that the land was a Tamil land long back, and the language they speak is just a distorted Tamil. In the following, we shall prove that it is so using the video produced by Nova. There are more than 200 ethnic groups in Cameroon. This video is about one of the 200 ethnic groups in Cameroon. We realize that if we spend a few months with the Cameroonians, we can show that every word that this ethnic group utter is a deformed Tamil word. For now, we are showing, with the help of the video by Nova, a set of words that stand out clearly, revealing its origin. The yellow color subtitles are from us, while the white color subtitles are from the producers Nova of the video set. First of all, these people are mountain people, and hence are the tribals, and hence the language has not been lost like the languages of the plains in most places on earth. But these hill tribes speak a deformed dialect of Tamil language only. In fact, all the tribal languages like the Australian Aborigines, Easter Islanders, Mayan, Red Indian, Basque, African tribal languages are all deformed Tamil language only. You would know that this is true after watching this video. These people live around the mountain called Mandura Mountains.
In the Central African nation of Cameroon, along the Nigerian border, are the Mandura Mountains.
It is pronounced in English as Mandura. This word itself is a Tamil word. As you can clearly see, these mountains are not rocky mountains. They are covered by sand or mud, which is very obvious. Hence, these are sandy mountains. Sand or mud in Tamil is man. Tur means deposits or settlements in Tamil. Manturnda or Manturi means deposited or settled with the sand in Tamil. Manduri mountains means mountains deposited with the sand. Manduri mountains deformed to Mandura mountains.
This is the home of the Mofu people. For generations, they've farmed this land. Their main crop is sorghum. In the native language, it's referred to as millet.
Again from the video, it is clear that the main crop is sorghum, which means millet in English. Sorghum is a Tamil word, and it means the same as in Cameroon, and it is also one of the main dryland crops of Tamil Nadu.
Okay, I just don't feel the necessity to keep going on that video, if you understand what I'm saying. We have Cameroonians who speak Tamil, and Tamil is a language that was brought to Indian by Morungan, and I showed you who Morungan was in video 1. If you don't know who Morungan is, go to video 1. And I don't have to keep playing this video because nobody have time to watch a video in a video. You want to be taught lessons. So let's deal with the fact that Cameroonians speak Tamil, and we need to know what Tamil is. Now, we have Mayan religion and its Tamil connection. Maya is the Central American people, Negro Black people. And I showed you a video of what one of the indigenous people look like in the video already. So, we have people saying that Moors are not Indians. And we have Moronians speaking Tamil, which is Moraya or Naga Moraya, which I just revealed to you. And we have Morea Islands in Hawaii, King Kalakaua. And we have Moraya Naga, King Ashoka. And we have Moraya Indian. You get where I'm coming from with this? There's no way around this, Moraya. We have Tuscaloosa the Moraya. the black warrior in Alabama. We have the connections that I'm connected. I don't have to dwell on it because I proved it. If you don't believe me, you just keep rewinding it and research for yourself. But I'm connecting the Islam to America. This is the king on Hawaii trying to get pulled down and stop from selling out America. You see, look up top. That's a Negro woman. It's nothing to debate. That would be some white Indians if America had nothing but some white looking Indians, pale Indians. So I'm connecting the Indian with the Moors though. That's what I'm doing. And we have this Indian, Calicoa. And we have Muskogee, Alabama. And we have Tamil speaking Africans. And we have Tamil speaking Mayans. We have Rongo script that I cannot stop. I cannot get enough of emphasizing. Rongo is right here. This is Rongo. This is where Rongo come from, in the middle of the Solomon Islands and the Pacific Ocean. And we have South America speaking Rongo and Amira and Kushua. Right? Now we have Rongo, which is Tamil in India, spoken by Moraya. Right? Now we have African speaking Amharic and Tamil. Do you understand who civilized who now? So I don't have to keep my boot on the African's head. It's just the point that they disrespecting us now, because no child can be denied the right to a nationality. You know, this is the Indigenous Child Act. They can't deny me who I am, and they getting on YouTube laughing at us, calling us Captain American Negroes, Uhuru movement, talking about my Alabama people with some goddamn African slaves, you disrespectful Kevin Hart ass nigga, looking ass nigga. Founders of the Niagara movement. We have a right to be Niagara if Nigeria have the right to be Nigeria. Niger have the right to be Niger. They call themselves Nigerians and they want to call us Negro? You want to disrespect our culture and our language, you disrespectful, ungrateful Africans? Your time is up. Okay? Because we can say Niagara, we can say Negra, we can say Negro, we can put it and flip it how we want. We don't need you niggas. We don't need you niggas, you know, telling us what we do. Whether we go to church, you know what I'm saying? Whether we sing, dance, do hip hop, you know, whatever we do. You feel me? Whatever it is we do, we don't need you niggas telling us nothing. Because we got our own culture. You know, we been doing what we do in America. You know, they call us country, you know.
Speak up, sister. You ain't dumb. How come? How come? How come? How come?
Okay. First and foremost, them ain't no slaves. And can't no goddamn, you know, Africans get down how we get on, you know, unless they see us do it first, man. You feel me? I don't know what the fuck the Africans be doing, but we been had our own shit. You feel me? The carnival, you show me where 46 days before the Easter festival, they do carnival in Africa. You know, you show me where, you know, in Africa, they do what we do. Unless we was over there and you sitting up there saying that they gonna name themselves after us. Because we not naming ourselves after no goddamn Africans. You know. We gonna name ourselves what we want to name ourselves. You understand me? So, now let's get to the nitty gritty of this video. And it's over with. Because I'm pretty much done with them Pan-Africans. Because today, you gonna find out the Indians that sold out the Negroes. Okay. We have is this Rumpa? No. Who is this? Okay, this is Nanticoke. This is Nanticoke. Okay. This is Nanticoke. Delaware, Lenape. Alright. So we switching back and forth to African and Aborigine. Okay. And we just crushed the African. Now we have Nanticoke. Okay, this is Nanticoke, and you can see who they're with. You see who they're marrying with. Why they call you Negro and Black. They fell for the okie doke. They want the light-skinned babies. They want the light-skinned babies. This is Wuda Nkanusa from Wampanoag. Okay, Wampanoag. You see him? The dude with the thick glasses who wanted me to prove that some damn Muslims was speaking languages over here. Wusha from Fana. This is his people. This is a sellout. Her name is Evelyn Charlotte Mitchell. They don't show you these people because you will do the research on how they help cause colonization. You see they help the Europeans and they end up in these little fucking shacks. So you help them just to end up in the fucking shack? You see what they look like? Okay. So we see Wuda Nkanusa with her mother. Okay. Now let's deal with Fana. We have Fana here. Fana Pocono talking about Moors is not Indians when he could have just said he's not an Indian. Or when he's not a Moor, because he's not no goddamn Indian. Because Indian is a misnomer. You understand? It's Moraya Nagar. Moraya Nagars are peaceful people. So you have this agent of technology and his uncle, Chief Sangamore. You have Chief Sagamore. And you have to find out who are the first sellouts and who did what. Because they're going to get up there and tell you that a goddamn Moor is shaking hands with the white man. You know, they're going to have an excuse for this video. I mean, this pic saying, oh, we was just shaking hands because they finna hand the land over. Or, you know, we finna talk about such and such. Or whatever the hell they finna talk about. But you got to understand that they're going to have an excuse for everything. Because I don't need to take a picture shaking no hand with no goddamn body as long as I get it done. That's all I need to do is get it done. I don't need to show you no goddamn picture of my Uncle Sagamore or my daddy, whoever the fuck they is, you know, discussing how they chase the Moors off. You know, of course you're not a Moor. You're a mestizo. You people are mestizos. You mulattoes. You can never be classified as Negro. You can never be classified as Negro if you, the Pocono, will stand firm. This is the Pocono. This is the Pocono. And they standing firm with the Pocono, okay? Okay? If you standing firm with Dane Calloway, you're standing firm with Chief Warhorse, Queen Warhorse. You're standing firm with them, and you're all renouncing Moors. And it's retardation. Because you can't claim more when you're amalgamating with recessivity. You can never claim more when you're amalgamating with recessivity. You can never claim more when you are amalgamating with recessivity. And you love to lay in the dark. You love to live in the dark. But I am the light. And what does my light do to pheomelanin? What does my light do to pheomelanin? What does my light do to pheomelanin, IsRaselite? It gives it melanoma. So they don't want to be Moors because they are united with the people that they claim the Moors are. Another group you need to know about is the Métis in Canada. You know about the Poconos now? So you need to learn about the Métis in Canada. The Métis are groups of people in Canada who trace their descent to First Nation people and European settlers. They are 500,000 deep, and they are a threat in Canada because they're more white looking like the Pocono. They'll show you him and him, but they're going to show you the rest of those white people. So let's do what we got to do. On the Pocono, Virginia places 1614, we have the Chickahominy were independent from Powhatan's Seneca-Combach and chose their own governing council of 8 Mungai elders after the end of the First Anglo-Powhatan War. So, This symbolized by the marriage of Pocahontas to John Rolfe. So they immediately married into the Europeans. The 1614 treaty. The 1632 resulted in a quick skirmish that ended in another temporary truce in 1628. Because the English finally outnumbering the people of Opportunist's control. And, you know, they slowly but surely started dominating them, making them do peace treaty after peace treaty, busting their head. So it was all out warfare. But these treaties of the Powhatans are the first peace treaties, are the first sellouts. Okay? You know, and you can get a hold of this information. All you have to do is Google it. Okay, the Nancy Mound Indians. You know, Warnoke. We have it all. We have it. You know, we have the proof of who's the first sellouts. The first Albany Agreement. French repel Seneca attacks on Fort St. Louis. So we have the industrials coming into the native parts, whether it be French or English, Moorish, Spanish. We have the industrial era of them taking over the world. Nobody gives a good goddamn about the Aboriginals. The Aboriginals better jump on each other's side. That's what this represents. And whoever the Aboriginal sides jump on, they're all promising them Aboriginals whatever prosperity that they will gain if they help them win. So all of these peace treaties are a result of, you know, conquest and Aboriginals on the run. So you have people living in these forest lands, and you have industries coming to take over the resources. So the Aborigines better jump on the right team, and as a result, as we see, we're English speakers now because of several sellouts, various sellouts. And the Indians just sold out of Pocono. They signed the first peace treaty in 1621. They're called the Wampanoag now. They wasn't the Wampanoag then. And you have, of course, the Wampanoag. Indians. Okay? You need to know about this. Because they're not going to teach you this. You see the Wampanoag? You see the Wampanoag? You see them? This is what they really looked like. You know, people like this. You know, they're not going to tell you the truth that they was true Trill Deal niggas. All Indians was Trill Deal niggas, man. All these little light-skinned white folks is some new shit. You know. I'm talking about real Trill Deal niggas was the real folks, man. You know. I don't know where all these bright folks come. They was doing too much mixing in the north. But now you see that the real sellouts are the Nanticoke and the Pocono. You see how they get at. You see what they do. You know, she is known for selling out. He is known for selling out. They have the peace treaties on file. So, they want to talk about some goddamn Sundry Act. You know, Chief Warhorse want to talk about some goddamn Moorish Sundry Act. Okay, because we have the Pilgrim Wampanoag Peace Treaty in Massachusetts, Chief Warhorse. And we're going to find out what goddamn peace treaty you signed, since you want to talk about some Moorish peace treaties. Because you ain't have to say shit about the Moors, neither one of you jokers who want to be chiefs and shit. You know, because in 1620, they signed a peace treaty. Okay, with the Church of England. And now the Wampanoag is Christian. And we're going to find out if the Choctaw is Christian, because clearly the Muslim Moors is not finna be no goddamn Christians, and that's what this is all about. Christianity got niggas on the run for being Nagamors and Muslim. They coming for you. So all the niggas that sold out is Christian by default. They can get on the internet and say they not Christian, but they Christians. And I gotta end this video because I proved my goddamn point. I definitely proved my goddamn point with the illiterate aboriginals, because ab means away from, original. They're not away from original. They are away from civilization, but they are original to the land. So they're not supposed to be on YouTube arguing with us, because they supposed to have their own. They don't want to be a part of the civilization. Just like they vote for the Sharif, just like they vote for the mayor, the Moor, the mayor, the more. So, possible route of the Tasmanians to the Americas. We have Chile up top, Australia, which would have gave them a shorter distance than traveling that long-ass ocean. And we have Chief Rewa of the Vendovi, who was on the Pacific Ocean with his naval fleet, who was captured in 1833 in Wilkes Island, Washington, American, and the San Juan Islands. So we have these people in Moroni's America, the Rewa people and the Easter Island people, who are now these people. Because this is in the 1800s, in 1868, they the reconstructed Constitution. What are they reconstructing if we didn't have a state already, if we didn't have a territory? Why would they be reconstructing something right after slavery was ended in 1868? That means these men was already intelligent and not African slaves. So we're shattering the African lie. We're shattering the African dreams. You know, we're shattering the reparation defenders' nightmares of this white supremacy approach and the lies of the African story and the African myth of being African. It's a lie. Okay, we have Morocco, Venezuela. Venezuela is named after Phoenicians, and Morocco, Falcon, Venezuela. So we dealing with a real place. We dealing with real deal information. And I have to close this video out. We have the Tuskegee people that I already showed you. Do you see Tuskegee? Tuskegee Airmen and Tuskegee language that I showed you earlier. So I gave you real deal artifacts. I gave you real deal proofs of Indians being Moors. Okay. So Hindustan combines Sindhu and Hindu. And I showed you Prince Sindhu. And thus freely infers the land of the Hindus. Thus at the time of Columbus, India was known by the Persian epithet variously Hindustan. No country, land, sea, or people in the world was named India. So your name is supposed to be Hindus, not Indians. That's why I'm sitting up here telling you people that Moors are Indians, my people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Moors are Indians because it is Hindus. Indian was made up once they came over here looking at the Indians that was here already. The Moors. So the Indian Pan-Aboriginals lose, and of course the Pan-Aboriginals of Pan-Africa lose too. They're both the same. They're agents to get on the news, the web or the internet, and to take away what the Moors have brought. Now, a Nova Scotia indigenous Nova Scotia people burned down Washington, D.C. in 1812, and they were kicked to Sierra Leone and Liberia in those colonies, and the black Indians were kicked to Oklahoma. Well, the people volunteered to go to Oklahoma. Some people stayed because they were going to get slaughtered if they stayed. The government told them, the Trail of Tears Indians, if they don't leave the Creek lands, they were going to get slaughtered. So they volunteered to go to Oklahoma. Everybody didn't go to Oklahoma. The people who stayed simply was denationalized. So they got people to go to Oklahoma. They got people to go to Africa. And the rest of us here, they just dealing with us, man. We the Indians. This is Washington, D.C. burning. This is turban-wearing soldiers debunking the out of Africa slave story. You know, nowhere in the world you're going to have these turban-wearing people. You know, these turban-wearing people. You know, dressed up like this. Meeting up with soldiers with guns. If they wasn't Muslims. Okay, we have the people who created hockey in Nova Scotia. Black Nova Scotians are black Canadians. Okay, we have black loyalists. We have black loyalists to the crown. Okay, and we have Indians who is chopping up the British. You see they chasing the Indians? That's just like the police chasing us. They dwindled our populations to just chasing us in neighborhoods now. You know, because we was doing shit like this. We was hacking them up. You see how they heads is hanging? You see how the little people playing with their heads? Niggas weren't playing with these people when we synced them people. We didn't know what the fuck they was. You know. So, we got the Germans visiting us. We got the Louisiana Purchase in 1803 debunking the slave story. You know. So we had, in February 1861, a representative from the 6 seceded states met in Montgomery, Alabama. to formally establish a unified government. So the Confederate States of America didn't exist to 1861, and it was destroyed in 1868. So basically, what I'm showing you is the Aborigines and the Pan-Africans have low IQs. You know why? Because they said they had been enslaved for 400 years. But the Confederacy only existed from 1861 to 1868. So, our attempt at nationalism was quelled in 1868. And this is the Creek Confederation, not some white confederation. So this is the last time we tried to revolt in America in 1861. They don't teach you that. And our movement lasted for 7 years. Okay? They don't teach you that. This is Washington, D.C. getting burned down. After Washington, D.C. got burned down, you see the nigga by the dude putting out water in Washington, D.C.? You see him right behind dude with the hat? Niggas was in Washington, D.C. It's one in the back. If you can look in the back, you can see another black. But after they burned down Washington, D.C., they made them walk the Trail of Tears, the black Indians. Okay, the Continental Congress met in Philadelphia in 1766 and declared the independence of the United States. This was in 1776. So the United States didn't exist in 1776. So nobody has been slaves for 400 years. That shit is a goddamn lie. So we have Great Britain. These people are always responsible for this, who is our greatest enemies. And you have British protector Nigeria since 1903. We have Ethiopians who are aligned with Great Britain, coming over here to kill these Moors and these Aboriginals. That's what this video is about. I hope you enjoy. These is the Haitian Louisiana Lusa people, the Louisiana Purchase, so-called French. This is the Nez Perce. This is the last people to fight in 1877. This ain't no goddamn African. And it was the last recorded Indian battle in 1877. So we have the Moors and the Aboriginals who should be united. But the Asians, this is the Fijian and the Navajo. But the agents is making you not want to fight. Because a Moor is a literature fighter, and the Aboriginals has always been the foot soldier folks and the people of Chicago. The people is the Moors, the folks is the folks. You dig it? The folks is the folks of the land, and the people is the people of the Constitution and the congregation. The people who know how to put the laws together. The eels and the bays, the folks and the people. You feel me? So, pretendians love calling dark-skinned natives freedmen or slaves. So you're saying they let the slaves be the chiefs? Okay. So we seeing what's going on. We seeing what's going on in the South. A black woman named Beulah May Donald won a $7 million settlement from the United Clans of America in Alabama, therefore bankrupting the association. Her son Michael Donald was lynched by 2 KK members. She just sued them in Alabama, and there is no more. There are no more. And as this video winds down, I give you more images of the Indians of Grenada Islands, the Grenadine Islands of South America, you know, of the Caribbean Islands. I'll leave you with these images of the Indian population. And we are diverse. We are not just Chata. You know, we are not just Chata. The Aborigines of Morar, they call themselves Morar. You can go to the beginning of this video where I verify the Morar people have the boats. The Morar people have the boats in Australia. And the Morungan people brought civilization to India via the Fijians. And they are Indians. And I proved it to you. There's no way around it. I hope you appreciate this video. I cannot talk you to death, because all you gotta do is goddamn research for your goddamn self. You know, you gotta research for your goddamn self, because this is Mexico. This is what they did to the Mexican people. You know, this is what they look like in Mexico. They made them people work. You see this ugly Jew on the horse to the right? You see these motherfuckers down here making motherfuckers steal shit and build up shit? This what these bitches did to us. And we don't got time to let no Africans get the credit for that. The descendants of America gotta get credit for that. Because in French Guyana, the ethnicity is Juka, Aluka, Paramacan, Parameka, ethnicity, and Suriname. And they speak a Juka language. So, native speakers, English, Creole, Suriname, Induca, Africa syllable, Latin script. You understand what I'm saying? So we got our own script of Latin, ancient Rongo, and I already proved it. This is South America people, golden brown people, different people who are Moors, who have pyramid technology. That Queen Warhorse can't take that from us. Dane Calloway can't take that from us. They cannot tell us who we is. And we gonna keep banging to make sure y'all know what's going on. You know. So, these is Indians getting shipped. And I can go and show you more, but maybe I'll just do a part 3. Maybe I'll just do a part 3. Maybe I'll just... Central Girard Colored School. We got a colored school in Alabama. Central Girard Colored School. You know, maybe we might just run into something else. Yep, that's pretty much it. I can go ahead and close this video out, because I'm sure y'all get it. You know, I was hoping to run up on that Mosquito Kingdom. That Mosquito Kingdom photo of them Belize Moors. Oh, here go Buganda, the father of Latin America. Of Latin America, man, they killed him, one of the Moors. You know, we have the Indians who look like this, and then you have the Indians who look like Chief Warhorse. You know, these powerful chieftains who was on the waters. You know, they don't want to recognize Indians. Black people from Balakistan, India. You know, they don't want to recognize Indians. You know. And I don't know why. This is my cousin. This is my uncle. This is, rest in peace, Cardita, my cousin's son. And he looked just like a Sauk of Illinois. They just faded out a little, so you can't tell the similarities. Sauk, my little cousin. Sauk. Jamario. So, we are Indians, and we Moors, because we peoples and folks in Chicago. We remember who we are. We deal with this. We deal with this information. We deal with the Asiatic Seymour people. We deal with this. And the Africans can't take it from us. Because you can't sit up here and tell me, you know, that the Moors of Moorea and Hawaii ain't the same. And you can't sit up here and tell me that they got a goddamn Hawaiian Puna and the dragon goddess. And she looked like this. And we in the Pacific Ocean. In the Pacific Ocean, people is Moors. Latin is Moors. Ejuca, Suriname is Moors. Latin. Old Latin script. And you have, according to Hawaiian mythology, there were 2 goddesses who were worshipped in temples. Kaiwan and Homaya. Kaiwani, a chiefess of Mui, is godlike female lizard or dragon. Her name is Hamia. And she is the goddess of fertility and childbirth. So, we have this lady who is a goddess in Hawaii. And you can't take that from these people, Pan-Africa. You hear me, Pan-Africa? You can't take that from these people. And we have these people being Fijians, Asiatics, right? Indians, right? Indians. Moors. The term Moor was applied to dark-skinned, brown-skinned, and reddish-brown-skinned people who were not only indigenous to Europe but to the West and North Africans. Even black Indians of the Western Hemisphere were also dubbed with this title. It's a good thing to be called a Moor, man. It's not a bad thing. And I proved them wrong. You should appreciate me. I don't see why you don't. You know, because I'm not denying this brother. I'm not denying this brother. This is one of my brothers, man. He's a Moor. It's another Moor, man. It's another Moor, man. you know, they Moors, man. They more than you, man, and I'm more than you. An Indian and Moor is synonymous because Hindu was replaced by Indian, and Moriah nigga is their real name. And I win this argument. Okay? I win this argument, and I close out by giving you some of the best information that you're gonna get, because I saved this for last. Okay, now bear with me the next 5 minutes and this video is over. Do you see Pompey and Cosray? Do you see this? These people are warring factions. These are real chiefs. These ain't no fake ass chiefs. Okay, now let's go back up. This is Pompey. You see the Pompey people? You see what they look like? They look like us, Pan-Africa. They look like you too, Pan-Africa. Now let me tell you about them. Let me show you them. Check this out. This is gonna be deep. Check this story out. And these is actually Caroline people in Carolina too. They extend all the way to Carolina, America. Check their story out, and I'm closing this video out. Isaac Coquel. Check. Oh, let me make sure I'm even saying it right. Isaac Kelly Kell. Okay. It means shining noble, wonderful king. Also called Itzcoatl. Sounds just like the people in Mexico, the way they pronounce their words. Itzcoatl. Quetzalcoatl was a semi-mythical hero warrior from Cosray who conquered the settler dynasty of Pompey, an island in the modern federated states of Micronesia. Sometimes Micronesia is just a short island of people. Sometimes between the early of 16th century and 17th century, some Cosraean variants named this hero Namparatak will feature closer to the Ulithian tales of the same architect. He is considered the father of modern Pompey. There is great variation among sources for the exact events before and during the invasion of Pompey. There are at least 13 different accounts of the war published. In most versions of the Isaac Kelly Kell legend, the settler rule had become oppressive under its abused centralized social system, and its lords had offended the thunder god Nan Subway, sealing the fate of the dynasty. Pompeian culture is heavily autonomous and decentralized, and quibbling directly and publicly over variations is considered bad form. The differences among the many accounts are further attributed to a wide range of cultural phenomena, from Kaaba social groups to clan affiliation. Accordingly, any preferred version is generally the product of a measure of self-interest and autonomy. Modern chiefs of Pompey trace their lineage to Isaac Kelly Kell, and according to this legend, modern Pompeians are descendants of Isaac Kelly Kell's invasion party. So, this whole story is about superheroes going to war. Through incestuous union produced the semi-divine Isaac Kelly Kell, who in the womb knew his destiny of vengeance. So, certain versions indicate the thunder god fled to the sky world of East Katal, having fled to impregnate a barren human of his own, Dawin Fanme, under the breadfruit tree. So this is their creation story, and how they were created.